think we're good now. There we go. We've got sound. All right. Having all sorts of technical difficulties. All right, we're good. I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and it fixed it. Wouldn't you know? Tell me you can hear me now. I'm seeing my bar moving, so I'm assuming we're good now. Cool. So yeah, so what a day, right? Like, holy crap, that happened. I'm still in a little bit of disbelief. It was like I was hanging out, minding my own business, like working, and I see a message pop up in Discord from Chris over at Nord, and it's like, the link to the article, and he said something along the lines of like, we won, or they backed down, or whatever it was. And I go over and I look, and I just could not believe it. I was in absolute, I was stunned. I was absolutely stunned. And yeah, what do you say? Let me see here. He goes, huge news, WoTC backed off, and links it, and I'm just like, what? Like, they did what now? So yeah, I mean, that was ridiculous. It was awesome. So yeah, I thought it was, I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy about the whole thing. Yeah, we'll have to look at it. Let's read it. Let's unpack it, man. Like, it's been I've been like kind of riding high on this all day. Question is, right? Is it too late at this point? It's not too little. I mean, it's everything we wanted, but is it too late? I feel like a lot of people have just moved on. Here, let's go. Let's read it again, because I like reading it. I'm like, yeah, that's good stuff. Let's head over here. So we get this message from Wizards of the Coast, and it reads. And now, don't forget, they were supposed to have this playtest open through like February something, like the first or second week in February, right? So when you give us playtest feedback, we take it seriously. So right there, they were addressing the rumors about how they don't even read it. So I felt like we almost forced their hand on this one. Already more than 15,000 of you have filled out the survey. Here's what you said. So 15,000 people, which is just, I mean, that's a sampling. That's a tiny amount of people compared to the people who play. But of the 15,000, 88% do not want to publish TTRPG content under OGL 1.2. 90% would have to change some aspect of their business to accommodate OGL 1.2. 89% are dissatisfied with the deauthorizing OGL 1.0a. 86% are dissatisfied with the draft VTT policy. 62% are satisfied with including system reference document SRD content in Creative Commons, and the majority of those who were dissatisfied asked for more SRD content in the Creative Commons. That pretty much, I mean, that fits exactly what I said, right? Those were my pretty much answers in there. The live survey results are clear. You want OGL 1.0a. You want irrevocability. You like Creative Commons. The feedback is in such high volume and its direction is so plain that we're acting now. 1. We are leaving OGL 1.0 in place and as is, untouched. 2. We are also making the entire SRD 5.1 available under a Creative Commons license. 3. You choose which you prefer to use. The Creative Commons license makes the content freely available for any use. We don't control the license and cannot alter or revoke it. It's open and irrevocable in a way that doesn't require you to take our word for it. And its openness means that there's no need for a VTT policy. Placing the SRD under a Creative Commons license is a one-way door. There is no going back. Our goal here... Hey, we got a new sub. Thank you, Lund23. Our goal here is to deliver on what you wanted. So what about the goals that drove us when we started this process. We want to protect D&D play experience in the future. We still want to do that with your help. We're grateful that the community is passionate and active because we'll need your help protecting the game's inclusive and welcoming nature. We want to limit the OGL to TTR, or we wanted to limit the OGL to TTRPGs. With this new approach, we are setting that aside and counting on your choice to define the future of play. Here's a PDF. This is the best part, right? Here's a PDF of SRD 5.1 with Creative Commons license. By simply publishing it, we place it under an irrevocable Creative Commons license. We'll get it hosted in a more convenient place next week. It was important that we take this step now so there's no question. So here it is. This is right here. This link is the SRD with the Creative Commons license right there. So it's both under the OGL and the Creative Commons license, both of them. So you can use either one now. They did it. It's done. That's it. It's like they've done it. There's no going back on that. Now that's SRD 5.1. That's 5e. This is not 1D&D or 6e or whatever, but 5e is now forever open and safe. So that's great. That's a huge, huge, huge victory. We'll be closing the OGL 1.2 survey now. So they're closing it early. Like, we're done. Like, the people have spoken. We'll keep talking with you about how we can better support our players and creators. Thanks, as always, for continuing to share your thoughts. Kyle Brink, executive producer, Dungeons and Dragons. So, one thing I'll say here is that they said they're leaving OGL 1.0 in place as is, untouched. So they're not going to create a 1.0b, at least they're not yet, that adds or irrevocable to it. But it's in Creative Commons. The SRD is in Creative Commons. So the OGL itself, 1.0a OGL, is still at risk, as it apparently it has been. I still think that if they tried to revoke 1.0a, they could lose that in court. But it does not. It does not mention, irrevocability. So I still would like to see them do like a 1.0b and add that irrevocability into it and keep it under OGL. But the fact that that the SRD part is under Creative Commons. So don't forget, the OGL affects more than just the 5.1 SRD. It also has the third and 3.5 SRD under it. So are they going to put those in Creative Commons? I'm not sure. I would also like to see an SRD 5.2 with the Artificer and maybe a few other things in it added that are added for like almost like a show of good faith. What they decide to do with 1D&D or 6e, they could still do a whole new license for that. They don't have to do Creative Commons or OGL 1.0. I think they would be foolish to do that because nobody's going to move. Like that's why they were trying to force us in the first place, is because they know nobody would go over to it. So they have to do a couple things. If they want to create a new one for 6th edition, they're going to have to make it nearly as good as this. If they're so worried about NFTs and blockchain, then add a couple lines in for that. And if they're worried about the hate stuff, they need to come up with a better way to execute that than what they were trying to do. They can't be the sole arbiters of that. And they have to make it so whatever it is decided on, they should be coming to the community, or at least the creators, for feedback again. And they need to make sure that nothing of that can be changed, right? Like, part of the problem with 1.2 or 1.1 or whatever the one we were just looking at, 1.2, was that there was parts that they could change, and there should be no part that can change. This is the license. It's irrevocable. We can always create another one, but you can use the older one. And the juice has to be worth the squeeze. Plain and simple. The 6e has to be good, and the license has to be good. Because if one or both of those things aren't met, everyone's just going to stay with 5e. Now, if 6e is awesome and it has a good license, everybody will go over to it and play it. I'd want to. But I don't know if they'll do that. So I'm really, really curious to see what they're going to do with 6e still. But if they want to create the crappiest GSL imaginable for 6e, that's on them. They can sink that boat if that's really what they want to do. But the rest of us will just stay with 5e. And I'm kind of in a place right now where I'm like, I'm glad this happened. Not because I want to go back and buy WoTC books. I'm still burned. I'm still angry. But at the very least, we now have content creators are safe. People can create content. Foundry and other VTTs can continue to operate. And, maybe the kobolds are with Black Flag. We haven't seen Black Flag yet. We'll talk more about Black Flag tonight. But if it is going to be some kind of 5e adjacent system, there's no fear of retribution. I'm hoping that, honestly, I'm kind of hoping Black Flag is like D&D 5.5, like a real 5.5, completely compatible with 5e, just fix a few things. Very much like what Level Up did with Advanced 5e. I thought that's a great system the more I look at it. So I'm curious to see what Black Flag will be about. But I'm just happy that these content creators are safe, that we can continue to create great content for that 5e system, and then we can create new systems that are compatible with the 5e system. So, I think it's going to be, pretty cool. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Ted from Nerd Immersion had a 17-minute interview with Noah from my lawyer friend about what this means. I just finished watching it right before this. I'll have to check it out afterwards. I like Ted. Ted's awesome. And my lawyer friend's been, had some cool stuff. Problem, my lawyer friend, I think, was the one guy who had said that he believed that it was revocable because it didn't explicitly say that it was irrevocable. But my understanding from other contract lawyers is that when it was written, it didn't need to be stated. Like, contract law changes over time. And at the time of its writing, it didn't need to say that. So I don't know. But I'm also not a lawyer or a contract lawyer, so I can't say. Sorry, I'm not bringing your comments up on the screen because the app that normally does that for me just isn't working tonight. So, but let me go through a few comments here. I guess, yeah, when I unplugged my mic, I should have unplugged WoTC and plugged it back in like 2 weeks ago. Maybe that's what they did. Super excited about the fact that they are already released it with Creative Commons license. They can't take it back. Yeah, I mean, that's such a show of good faith. Does it fix everything? No. Am I still angry? Yes. But was it the right thing to do? Abso-freaking-lutely. The only thing that would have been better is if they put it under orc. That would have been freaking icing on the cake. I still hope they kind of do. I would love to see that. Or put 6e under orc. That would be amazing. Like, that would be so awesome. I don't think about the OGL still being potentially revocable. I mean, technically it is. It would be absolute, PR suicide to do it. But if nothing's changing about it, right? If they're not going to put out 1.0b and say irrevocable, then technically they think they can still deauthorize it. And they could try this again in a year or 10 years or 15 years or, next week. I mean, technically they can. It'd be a big mistake, but they can. So that's why I'm glad that Creative Commons is a thing, but, again, the open gaming license affects more than just the SRD. That's the main thing we're concerned about, but it does affect other things. And like I said, I'm curious to see what they do with 1D&D. Yep, pretty good. I'm wondering if Chris Cow got sacked. This seems like such an about face. I don't know if anybody got sacked. I think that the numbers were looking grim. I was looking at I think the stock had dropped a bunch. They just did layoffs at Hasbro, and I think that affected some WoTC employees. And, when the Q4 numbers come out and you're looking at a toy company looking like they're going to lose money at Christmas, it's just not good. D&D is like D&D and Magic are their cash cows, and, they need it. And they can't afford to tank it. And, the D&D Beyond subs, I think, was a huge factor. I mean, I really believe that did a lot. 40,000 plus subscriptions canceled. That seems like a drop in the bucket, but 5-10% of subs, let's say, get dropped. That hurts. And then apparently, and I don't know for sure, this is, I'm saying this secondhand, but I think it was Indestructible or somebody said that there were some like hedge fund guys that were criticizing it. We're talking about doing a bunch of, selling off and all this stuff. So I think that it came down to a financial decision. I mean, we forced that. The community forced that financial decision. But yeah, I mean, everything that we as a community did, that, guys like D&D Shorts and, Roll for Combat and Discourse Miniatures and, Linda and, all those people, Ted from Nerd Immersion, you guys, everything we did, Jenny D. I mean, these are all people that have large followings and made a stand. I'm a little guy here. Like, I don't think I made much of a dent. For me, it was more about venting my feelings through my channel, and I'm glad you guys are here for it. But, all these people coming together and really putting their foot down. Then you have Paizo coming out of the freaking works like Ant-Man, and Kobold Press. And I mean, wow, it was huge. And when you see like the numbers from Kobold Press, I've been in the Kobold Press official Discord server. It's a fairly young server. It's been around maybe a year. It was very, very small. And then Black Flag gets announced and it just blew up. I think we'll look at the news in a little bit on there, but they've got thousands of people, that have signed up to play test Black Flag. All that made such a big, huge difference. I mean, it's awesome. It's so cool. I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm still angry. I still feel burned, but what a victory. I mean, a bunch of us nerds went up against a $1 billion company toe to toe and won. Yes, the Avengers video was definitely top notch, for sure. Maybe Cynthia Williams will be shopping for a new job for family reasons. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I think that this could be let's cut our losses with 5e. Screw it. Let's move forward. They're still going to monetize 6e, right? They can still build the walled garden. They can still microtransaction D&D Beyond. I don't like the idea of all the microtransactions. I really don't. But as a business, it's a smart way to go. I think people will buy into it. I think their VTT is going to be popular. I think that everything they've done did nothing but hurt them. I think a lot of us might not come back, at least not quickly and not easily. But I think some will. And I think that D&D Beyond as a whole is a fairly good product. I think that its homebrew system needs a freaking total revamp and overhaul. Like, creating content in D&D Beyond is a nightmare. It would be great if they really wanted to be smart, right? If they really, really wanted to be smart, they would allow third-party creators to put content on D&D Beyond without having to accept some ridiculous, DM's Guild type, restrictions, because it would bring more people. Like, if I could play Kobold Press, if I could have all my Kobold Press stuff on D&D Beyond officially, just buy it on D&D Beyond, I would totally have done that, But I don't want Kobold Press to have to give up the rights to their stuff, right? That's ridiculous. Nobody's going to do that. So I think that if they really want to be smart, hey, Kobold Press, go ahead and sell your stuff on here. We take 20%. Done. Like, there you go. Monetize. I mean, that's what Roll20 does. I just do the same thing. So that's my thoughts. Well, the fact that they're going to miss their Q4 earnings and have to lay off 15% of their workforce, yeah, which is sad. I think that really sucks, because I work for a corporation. I worry about losing my job every day. I lose sleep over that, because it's scary. I lose my job. I don't know how I'm gonna pay my mortgage or feed my family. I have to find another job. This sure as heck doesn't pay bills for me. I so far, I think I've made about $40 on my channel. So, it's not like I make money doing this. I do this for the fun. I'd love to make this my full-time thing. If I can grow this channel enough and get enough support, I would absolutely quit my job and do this. But that requires 100,000 subs. So I don't think that's happening anytime soon, but we'll see. But now I can also do some content creation. I definitely been talking about wanting to start writing and creating content and publishing. I know my VTT future is safe and creating content for third parties. So I have, at least I know I now have a more secure future in the industry because of all this, and that's a good thing. I also think they were worried about the movie getting boycotted. They want to make it into a big franchise. Yeah, I agree. I wasn't going to see the movie. I might go see it now. This might be enough to at least get me to see the movie. Because, I want to see the movie. I didn't want to boycott it, but, I'd be damned if I was going to give them money after all this BS. So will I see the movie now? Yeah, maybe. I might. Not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. I'm still a little angry. I'm still hurt. You hurt me, Wizards. You hurt me. WoTC probably didn't expect the mobilization of the community showed. Oh man, dude, I'm telling you, I think they were expecting a reaction. I don't think they were expecting that reaction. Wow. What a community. I am so impressed by this community. I just can't believe it. Like I said, I think we talked about this in another one of my lives, how it's crazy to see there's such a wide range of gamers, right? Everything from the old school guys to, the new, younger, hipster people and everybody in between. And some of those people will never see eye to eye on anything. We could be on two completely separate sides of the political spectrum and hate each other on any other day, but this one thing brought all those people together, and it's just amazing how this community just united. Yeah, I saw plenty of people who were like, I don't care, I'm gonna do what I want. I get that. There's always gonna be those people of dissent, because they don't think it affects them. It does. It definitely would have affected them. They just don't see it. But as a whole, this community really came together, and it was amazing to see. And today, when this announcement happened, and I'm watching Roll for Combat, and I'm watching Discord Miniatures, and I'm watching all the YouTubers, and I'm looking at Twitter, it just felt like a celebration. People were, I literally felt like people were dancing in the streets in joy. It was really cool. It's the end of Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Somebody posted actually a GIF of the Ewoks dancing, and I was like, yub. I want to see it in writing that 1.0a cannot be revoked, as well as the rest. All this is talk until then. So Jay, 1.0a can still be revoked. They never said it can't be. They said they're not touching it for now. That's why I said I think 1.0b needs to come out with that added. However, it's already been the SRD. 5.1 SRD, which is our 5th edition rules, our SRD we've been using since pretty much since D&D came out, updated once in 2016. That has already been published under the Creative Commons license. That is right here. Let me share my screen. This is the SRD 5.1 with the Creative Commons license. So as of today, SRD 5.1 is now Creative Commons in full. This is all 403 pages of it. Now, I saw somebody say, oh, beholders, blah, blah. Beholders are not in the SRD. The name beholder is in here under the the magic item here, the Ace of Diamonds, but the stat block is not. And so you still can't publish a beholder stat block in your stuff. Same thing with Mind Flayers. So you still can't publish beholders in your content, unfortunately. But here it is. This is SRD 5.1 published in Creative Commons today. This is it. It's done, and it cannot be taken back. So victory, big victory. Sorry, there's a lot of comments. You guys are talking tonight. So super chats are on if you guys want to bump your messages up. So I make sure I see them. I think if all they did was track on a royalty, I don't think people would have freaked out. Um, I don't know about that, Michael, because first off, the royalty was ridiculous, 20 to 25% off of gross. Nobody's gonna ever do a Kickstarter. I mean, it was nuts, and the fact that they could change that number at any time, there was so much wrong with that. So if there was like a 2% royalty, they might have been like, "Oh, that's stupid," but okay. But 25%, I mean, I just don't see it. It wasn't worth it. There's not enough money in it for them. I don't understand why they would want to do it in the first place. I just lost mine as a customer service rep for Amazon. Yeah, I know, man. I get it. That sucks. It's happening. You know, it's we're in that cycle. So I'm brushing up my resume. You know, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the inevitable. So if anybody wants to hire a really good project manager or somebody to do D&D stuff or a social media person, I'm your guy. Definitely need to see the four corners of the actual document. Well, like I said, right now there is no document, right? There's nothing. Here's the Creative Commons, and you can read that license. And 1.0a is what it's always been. It's the same document it's been for 20 years. So there is no new document. Now, what we do want to see the four corners of is what the new, if there will be a new OGL for 6th edition, which I'm sure there's going to be something. We need to see what that document looks like, because that's going to make the decision if we go over to 6e or not, right? Are we going to have a repeat of the 4th edition debacle? That could still happen. And you know what? If that's on them, honestly. Like, if they want to make that dumb move and make a new license that's going to be super restrictive, nobody will use it, and we'll all stay in 5e and, you know, whatever. That's on them. I think they have a big enough customer base that that the customer base will move. But I think a lot of people that would maybe move at first are going to realize, wait a minute, how come nobody's publishing, you know, Kickstarters for 6e? Like, they're still publishing for 5e. That's because the licensing sucks, and, you know, they're not going to like that. So I am curious to see what we get on that. Let's see. Where were we at? Man, you guys are talking tonight. I think they don't. I think they thought that they could weather the storm and just bring in the next generation of players that they thought the movie was going to create. I don't think the movie's going to create a whole nother generation of players. This isn't Lord of the Rings. This movie's going to do good. It's not going to be some blockbuster phenomenon movie. It's just going to be a good, fun movie. It's not going to. I don't see it being something huge. I see it being something big, but nothing huge. Some of us said nothing, but no change on 1.0a would make us come back. Then we were like, "What? What? What do you mean?" They say that says okay. I don't know what you mean. I agree. 1.0b is necessary. Yeah, I said I would like to see a 1.0b, but at least as far as 5e is concerned, 5e is safe. 5e is good. Can you use the OGL and use SRD? Sorry, this is probably a dumb question. Yes, you can use the OGL or you can use the Creative Commons. You can use both. The OGL is just a license that says everything in the SRD is fair game. That's what the OGL is. The OGL is a single page. It just is a contract that says, hey, anything that's published using the OGL is fair game to use. And then they put the OGL when they publish, just like when Kobold Press publishes a book, they put the OGL in the back. Well, when they publish the SRD, they put the OGL in it. Now they put the OGL in it and they put Creative Commons in it, so you can use either license. A smaller royalty, yeah, 2 to 5% royalty, yeah. The royalties would have been a pittance for Wizards of the Coast, even at 25%. That's kind of the point, is that I don't see them having done well with it. Like there would not have been enough money for all this headache. Like that's not where you monetize. I think what they wanted to do was just force everybody out so that they were the only game in town. And I don't, I just don't see it. Like, yeah, maybe do they think that, oh, well, since it's the only content, we're going to buy more of it? I'd be like, well, there's no good content for this. I don't want to buy it. Like, I don't even want to play this game. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they were. I don't know what they were going for. I think it was crazy. They haven't put the 3.5 SRD in Creative Commons nor mentioned it, but with 5.1 in Creative Commons, they don't have the incentive to shoot themselves in the foot again by trying to illegally revoke the OGL again. Correct. However, 3.5 SRDs are still covered under OGL, which they claim isn't going anywhere. So at least for the time being, those are safe. So down this hallway is 7 flying swords and a beholder. Please refer to the following page in the book for the stat block, but they can be in my dungeon, right? Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. I don't, I don't think so. I don't think you can mention it. I know the name is in the SRD, like it says Beholder, but it's part of a magic item and a monster type. Like they make another reference to it in there, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to answer that question, Morgan, because I don't know the right answer. So yeah, it was a crazy day, guys. It was a big day. It was a crazy day. Um, I'm excited about it all. Yeah, like I said, unless the monster stat block is in there, I don't think you can. It's kind of different. And by the way, the SRD hasn't changed other than them adding the Creative Commons. It's the exact same SRD that was there yesterday, just with the Creative Commons license. They did not add anything. I think so. I know somebody said today, "Oh, I see Beholder in there," and it started a whole rumor. I think that's what happened. So I would assume the rules have not changed since yesterday. Oh, thirsty. I went out and celebrated tonight. Had a drink. Thought about getting a bottle of champagne for the stream, but you know. Yeah, that 25% was to say negotiate a separate contract or go out of business unless you're staying teeny tiny forever. Yeah, and like I was talking to some guys who were like, I think I'm too small for Wizards of the Coast to come after anyways, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but do you want to take that chance? Like, all it takes is for you to publish one product that they notice and go, that's a good idea. Yeah, you could do Tentacle Eye Monster, right? But the cool thing is that like the expression of the content, right? We kept talking about how you can't copyright game mechanics, but you can copyright the expression of them, which means that you can make a Tentacle Eye Monster, but you can't create a stat block that looks like the Beholders. And I mean, like, you can't use that layout, you can't use the same ability names. You'd have to create something similar to a Beholder, something Beholder like, but you couldn't create a Beholder. So yeah. Even if they thought the movie would bring in new players to replace the old, they were wrong. Really, how many people get the rules and started playing with an intro from someone already playing? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it works. I think a lot of people were interested in playing from seeing Stranger Things. I know when the pandemic happened, I think a lot of people were like, one of my good friend, my old neighbor from my old house, he messaged me one day. He's like, "Hey, we really want to play D&D. Can you teach us?" And we got online and I started playing with him and his wife and his son, and I taught them how to play. I think they're still playing now, but I did a couple sessions of Lost Minds with them, and so, but I taught them. They came to me and said, I want to learn how to play, but and I love teaching people how to play. That's something I really enjoy doing. I was at a get together last night with some friends and stuff. People like from another Facebook group I'm in that me and my wife are in, like a local group. So we got together at a restaurant last night, and I was, of course, I bring up, oh, I do D&D, and I have a YouTube channel and this and that, and right away, like there was like 4 people like, I've always wanted to learn how to play. Like, so that's all it really takes is like somebody knowing you know how to play, and they're like, teach me. But they're not just gonna go like, oh, I want to learn how to play D&D, and then just like go buy the books. Like they wouldn't even know where to start. It's kind of a weird hobby to get into. I think Critical Role got a lot of people into it, which is weird. That people would be watching, but I think people who got into it through Critical Role, like they probably had friends who played, and they're like, dude, you got to watch the show. They're so great, blah blah blah. And then they watch it, and they're like, oh wow, this is cool. So even my wife, she didn't want to play, but a bunch of her friends did. So I had them all come over one night, and I ran a one shot for them. And my wife just watched, and she's like, that looks kind of cool. And now she plays. So our second one shot she played in, and that turned into our campaign. The challenge is the magic concealing effort would make the flying swords deactivate. So if the player's job to guide the beholder eye to a certain place and control the swords. That was elaborate. But you say gave up 5e for Pathfinder 2. You'd be teaching them those rules instead. I mean, here's the other thing. Ted brings up a kind of maybe not the point I want to make, but makes me think of something else, is that one cool thing that kind of came out of this is that I know I do, and I think a lot of other people do, want to try other systems now. Like I've been talking about wanting to try Pathfinder 2 for a long time, and I finally, grabbed some stuff and I want to look at it. I grabbed a Call of Cthulhu book. I grabbed our stream from the other night, by the way. We had a stream the other night. I don't remember who it was. I asked some of you guys for suggestions for games I should look at, and I grabbed a couple of PDFs. So I got Blades in the Dark, which, by the way, then somebody else said, get powered by the apocalypse, which I didn't even know what to look for. Then I found out that it's what's the game called? Like Apocalypse something. It is, and then Powered by the Apocalypse is not really a system even. It's more like a bunch of different games that all use a similar rule set to this one game. And Blades in the Dark is actually part of Powered by the Apocalypse. I did not get Fallout New Las Vegas. I haven't done that one yet. I did grab Iron Sworn. So I grabbed a few books. I also grabbed the Cypher rule book PDF. So I've got stuff to start looking into now. You brought Mike says he bought the Zoander book. It uses a D100 engine. Okay. We'll have to take a look at that. You can show it to me. Yeah. I played since Redbox, but stopped in mid-90s until CR. See, I started in the mid-90s with AD&D 2nd edition, and then I went back and played 1st edition and even got the Redbox at one point. So I played 2nd edition, then 1st edition, and a little bit of Redbox, and then I skipped 3.5 Pathfinder 4, came back in at 5. Though I did play a lot of D&D video games that were in the 3rd edition era, like Neverwinter Nights. So I did get some exposure to the 3rd edition, but those were the years I was doing other stuff. And, I was very happy to come back and find out what 5th edition was all about. It was funny because when I came back to 5th edition, I was still calling it Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, oh, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition? They're like, no, it's just Dungeons and Dragons now. I'm like, why is that? They're like, I don't know, it just is. I'm like, okay. So, yeah. That name means two-handed in German. Okay. When I found out Pathfinder 2 had an advanced player's handbook, I was like, oh. 2nd edition is why I learned Paladum. Yeah, I like 2nd edition. There was some cool stuff in 2nd edition. THACO wasn't one of the cool things, but everything else about 2nd edition was pretty cool. Everything else I liked. I would still play 2nd edition, honestly, if I had a group to play it with. It would definitely be fun. But, man, Pathfinder 2 is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I'm excited for Black Flag. I really hope that Black Flag ends up becoming just a better 5e. That's kind of what I want, because I like 5e. I don't care what anybody says. Some of you are like, oh, 5e sucks. It doesn't suck. It's a good system. It's an elegant system. It's a simple system. It's an easy system for people to play. It's a system that you can just hack the crap out of and do whatever you want with, and it works. And I like that about it. So I would love to see a better 5e. You know, like I said, I keep talking about that leveled up from EN Publishing, but man, it's good. It's pretty good. I think it can use a little bit more. So I'm really hoping to see what Cobalt Press does. And they're gonna. So you know what? Speaking of Black Flag, let me pull something up here, because Cobalt Press actually put something out today about Black Flag. You're hyped about Cobalt Press's Deep Magic 1 and 2? Yeah, me too. I'm definitely hyped for that. Yeah, 5e is definitely great in its simplicity. It's a very elegant system. It's easy to learn. It's easy to teach people. It's a great gateway game. I think it's a great gateway game. All right, so let's hop over here. So Project Black Flag, painting it black. I see the red door. No. The Cobalt team continues to work hard toward our first phase of Project Black Flag playtesting, set to release February. Thank you to the 27,000 plus of you who signed up to get your claws on the first look playtest. We are humbled. Know that our plans are in place and we will be in contact with phase 1 information soon. If you want to sign up to playtest Project Black Flag, join our playtest list here. Last week, we shared the amazing piece of art, Man of War, by William O'Brien. This Project Black Flag inspired art left us wanting even more. This week, we are pulling back the curtain to share other artists working on this project. Raise the Black Flag with us to welcome this incredible artistic team. First off, Mark Randell, that guy's amazing. He is so good. He's done so much of the art directing for the books and layout and all sorts of stuff for Cobalt Press for years. He is so great. So Mark has been Cobalt Press's art director and lead graphic designer for over a decade. He's worked on nearly 100 Cobalt Press products, including the Ernie Award-winning Creature Codex, Monster Book, and Southlands World Book campaign setting. Mark's amazing. I love his stuff. Mark is leading a team of incredible artists on Project Black Flag, including Roberto Pitru, I'm going to say some names wrong, William O'Brien, Craig Spearing, Brian Syme. Brian Syme is one of my favorite artists. This guy, he does so much good stuff. He does a lot for AAW too. I absolutely love his art style. Igel Thompson and Eva Winderman, as they reinvent the look of traditional fantasy for Project Black Flag. And because we can't help ourselves, here's a sneak peek of art from pages of Project Black Flag, starting with some classics. All right, right there. Hold on a second. Here's a sneak peek of art from the pages of Project Black Flag. That means they've got this thing well written already. They're working on layout right now. That's awesome. I'm so excited. Starting with some classics. You can expect the monsters for Project Black Flag will include the best of Cobalt Press, building on favorite concepts from generations of fantasy storytelling and introducing all new, never before seen monsters. All right, so let's just throw out the fact here that Cobalt Press already has 4 monster books with 1,600 monsters, and they're about to crank out new stuff. Plus, they're going to be able to basically reinvent all the monsters in the SRD. Like, this looks like a bugbear to me. Project Black Flag orc. That's an orc. Okay. Looks like kind of bugbearish, but all right. New orc style. And we've got a troll, which... cool. Over the next week, over the next few weeks, we'll reveal more of our creative team and publishing partners. Until then, keep those flags raised high and join us on Discord to discuss monster favorites and monster requests. I can't wait. I hope I get to. I would love to get to write a monster or something for Black Flag. That'd be fun. I want to do that. You smell an orc invasion in Midgard? Hell yeah. Well, don't forget. So this is what I'm expecting for Project Black Flag. Project Black Flag is going to be a single book, a core book, probably like a 500 something page core book is what I would think, or a core book and a monster book. Basically like a monster manual type of book, and that's it. And then it's going to be put under orc, and then everybody can publish content for it. Like Cobalt Press will publish stuff for it. Nord can publish stuff, and AEW can publish stuff, and Green Ronin can publish stuff, and everybody can publish stuff for this new game system. But I think they're probably really just going to probably release one core rule book and then just say have at it. I think that's going to be what they do with it. I think. Obviously they'll be able to publish their own stuff for it, but they can publish Midgard stuff for it. They can publish, setting neutral stuff for it. But anybody will be able to publish for it. Has anyone tried Level Up 5e by EN World? Yeah, Peter, that's the one I've been talking about. It's the Advanced D&D 5e. It is such a cool system. It's definitely like a 5.5 kind of deal. I'm hoping that Black Flag will be similar, but maybe a little better. But there's a lot of cool stuff in that book, and I definitely recommend people check it out. It is solid. It's funny because when I started reading through it, I'm like, hey, there's a lot of stuff in here I already do at my table. Like a lot of what I would consider optional rules are just core mechanics of Level Up's Advanced 5e, and it's really, really good. I know it's probably too much to ask for an easy Black Flag to 5e conversion. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be that much to ask. I think it's going to be compatible. I think you're just going to grab your 5e stuff and throw it right into Black Flag, honestly. I think it's going to be a system adjacent system. I think all your 5e stuff is going to work with it. That's my guess. Because Cobalt Press has spent the last 70 years heavily invested in 5e. They want their stuff to work. And their current Kickstarter, their Deep Magic 2, is forward compatible with Black Flag as well as backwards compatible with 5e. So right there, that tells you that it's similar enough. You back to Kickstarter but haven't read through the books yet? Yeah, no, it's a good book. I can pull it up. Let me pull up mine. Let me see here. Level Up. Where are you at? No. There it is. Is this it right here? Is this the one? I can never remember. Nope, that's not it. I swear I had this problem before and I was like, where is it? Let me see. Narrator. I swear to God I have it. That's not it. That's the monster book. I don't know why I can't. I keep having this issue where I'm like, I don't know where it is. That's not it. That's not it. That's just a character sheet. I wonder if this is it. Nope. I don't know where I put it. I had this problem once before where I was like looking for it and I couldn't find it. Let's see. Is it my downloads folder maybe? No. There's my cipher stuff. Weird. I don't know where I put it. Deep Magic will have a Black Flag appendix. When I asked what it was, this was the answer I got. It will cover how to use this book with the PDF game or project or PBF game rules. Short and sweet, but very useful. Yeah, like I said, I think it's going to be an adjacent enough system that it's going to be easy to use and easy to adjust to. So we'll see. Let me see something here. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up that. I want to pull up that PDF now. And I'm like, hold on a second. Actually, let me see something. Adobe. It might just be in my list. Here it is. There it is. I found it. All right. 100. There we go. So this There's this, and there's... Yeah. All right. So you want to look at the level up. Let's go ahead. There we go. So here's the level up. Let me make it a little smaller so you guys can see it. There we go. So yeah, it's a fairly good system. There's they do a few things. Like one of the big things I found. Let me see if I can find where it's at here. It might actually be in the introduction. It's like you get the instead of like when you have skill proficiencies, instead of expertise, you get these expertise dice. They do group checks too, which is kind of nice. They have critical fumbles, but you have advantage, disadvantage, and expertise. So when you like you might get advantage or disadvantage or something still, but you might get expertise in something. Expertise gives you an extra D4. So let's say you're on like, you know, a sleight of hand with advantage. Cool, you roll your 2d20, take the highest, but you also have expertise. So you roll a d4 and you add it to it. Kind of similar to like if you had, you know, guidance or something like that. But then let's say that somebody casts guidance on you and that adds an extra expertise or something like that. Whatever. They do something that gives you an extra expertise. Rather than rolling 2d4, you roll a d6 now. And then because of some other condition, you get another expertise. Now it becomes a d8. D8 is the highest you can go. So that's how they kind of handle that, is you can stack these expertise up to a d8. So I thought that was kind of cool. But there's a whole bunch of other neat stuff they do in here. They kind of do character creation a little differently, but it's still all like 5e compatible, and the base system is still the same. Like the ability score bonuses, your 6 abilities, your classes, and you know how the classes work are all the same. So it's a pretty cool little system. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know if I was even sharing my screen there. Was I sharing my screen with you guys? Yeah. Well, I know what it was. I wasn't sharing my screen. I just put the wrong thing up. So, anyways, that's what it is. Deep Magic, well, blah, yeah, okay. We already went through those comments. So, yeah. I'm kind of, like I said, we'll see what Black Flag looks like more next month. I'm definitely looking forward to it. 3d6 straight down, the best. You know, I have a friend who does that. Jonathan Nelson, the owner of AAW, that's how he does characters. 3d6 straight down. Like, you don't even get to choose where they go. So you roll up your stats, and then you're like, all right, well, this is the kind of character I'm making. It's definitely an interesting way of doing things. So what do you guys think? Do you think that what do you think what do you think they'll do with 6th edition? Do you think that 6E is going to be do you think they'll stick with 1.1, or do you think they're going to do something crazy? Or sorry, do you think they'll still do 1.0, or do you think they'll do something closed? Do you think there'll be a GSL? Do you think they'll have a nice compromise? I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what happens. Just got it. What did I miss? What'd you miss? My God, man. You missed it all. I'm sure you already know the news. We've mostly been talking about the OGL, and we've been talking a little bit about Black Flag, and we're just looking at the EN Publishing Advanced 5e system a little bit. But I also actually today got contacted by another publisher who has got a steampunk game coming out that they're going to send me a media kit over, and I'm going to take a look at, and maybe we'll look at one night on here. It is, let me see here. Do I have any messages from them? Oh yeah, they just sent it to me. So it's a company called Fragging Unicorn, and it is a. Let me see what they said here. We're creating a new cyberpunk slash fantasy TTRPG coming to Kickstarter in February. So yeah, they're looking for people that can, do some media on it and streams or interviews or something. So I'm gonna have to dig through that fantasy or through that media kit and take a look. But I'm kind of curious to see what it is that they're gonna have. I haven't really messed much with cyberpunk, and I like the idea of the cyberpunk fantasy mashup. It could be a nice little transition for me, since I haven't done much in the cyberpunk realm. Yeah, so it's been a day, guys. It's been a day. Super excited though. I feel elated over this victory. I'm shocked though. Like I really didn't think they were gonna back down as much as they did. Like it's a bigger win than I was expecting. Just got to your question. I'm certain that 6E will be its own closed SRD, especially around VTT. That's the thing, right? Are they going to do that? Like, it seems like if they do that, nobody's going to go over. I think that we've made it clear that we're not interested in a system like that. Like, leave it as is and just do your thing. Like, if they just make a good product, people will use it. Their VTT looks cool. People will use it. You don't need to knock out the competition. If you close it off and make it so people can't do stuff, nobody's going to want to do anything with you. But we'll see. Like I said, if that's what they do, I'm not moving. I won't go over to 60 if that's the deal. Yeah, at this point, WoTC probably won't make it backwards compatible. It never was going to be backwards compatible, man. It never was. As soon as I saw what they were doing with classes, it was like, nope, not backwards compatible. Like, you could easily modify the adventures to play in 6E because it's not that far removed. But backwards compatible? No, it's not backwards compatible. When it came over Facebook, I thought it was a joke. Yeah, I was like, what? What? I go in the other room and told my wife, and she's like, wait, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. She's like, holy crap. And then I told my daughter when she comes home, my daughter's like, she couldn't believe it either. She was like so happy. They cut their losses. One D&D VTT will be their new gamers and movie fans. Yeah, I guess. I think that they'd be smarter to just push forward with the status quo and just let it happen organically. Like, I think they would have more success if they didn't piss people off. Like, honestly. Like, just move forward with it, and if your product's good, people will use it. That's all there is to it. And D&D Beyond's not a bad product, and their VTT looks cool. Like, I don't understand their fear around the competition with other VTTs. Like, what are you guys so worried about? Like, your product looks good, unless it's really not good, and you're just like, shit, the only way we're going to make money is to force people to use it. And if that's the case, then nobody's going to use it anyways. They just won't play 6E. And that's the other thing. I'm worried that 6E is not going to have physical books. Like, if they don't publish physical books, I would definitely be hard out. Like, I want physical books. If someone smart is put in charge, they'll take the exact opposite strategy of what they were planning. The OGL is what made D&D profitable twice. Yep. They always seem to have a different definition of backwards compatible than me. Yeah. Ass backwards, maybe. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, guys. I like what day did that shit break? Like January 4th, January 5th, something like that is when that leak happened. It hasn't even been a month, guys. It has been a little over 3 weeks. That's it. All this is not even 4 weeks old. Can you imagine? Can you believe that? It's like 2020 all over again. It's insane. it's been the longest week of my life. This month has been the longest week of my life. I'm telling you. Oh my god. I was supposed to go play D&D tonight, and then this happened. I'm like, not playing D&D tonight, going live. Like, I there's no way I'd be able to concentrate on a game tonight, to be honest. I'm like, I gotta get on the YouTubes. I gotta talk to the people. This needs to happen. Wow. So I still would like to see that 1.0b. That's the other thing I want to see. I want to see that 1.0b, and I want to see an SRD 5.2. Do those things, and you really build some goodwill. Like, how cool would it be if next week they're like, hey, here's SRD 5.2, also under Creative Commons and OGL 1.0, and the Artificer has been included. Like, yes, please. But maybe they're saving that for 6E, and they're like, they want to put the Artificer under 6E. That way it gives you more incentive to go over to 6E. I don't know. Not that much more incentive, honestly. Like, nope. So we'll see what happens, but I like that it's under Creative Commons, man. That was a super smart move. I wonder whose idea that was. Yeah, the subscribers, microtransactions, digital-only players, I guess, but the cost of printing has gone back down. Things are starting to normalize again, and people want books, man. Like, it's always been a thing in this hobby. Like, I love my books. Like, don't get me wrong, I like digital. I had D&D Beyond, and I had pretty much every book on there, and I used it, but I still have all my physical books. I need them. You're hyped about your game tomorrow? Yeah. I feel like I'm going to sleep so good tonight. Like, it's just one less thing to worry about. Now all I have to worry about is my real job. Yeah, it's just, what a weight. Like, it's like this weight has just been lifted. But, like I said earlier, I'm still angry. I'm still mad. I still feel like the damage is done. Like, I'm glad that this happened. I'm glad for the publishers. I'm glad that now we can, the big thing to me is like, cool, now we can create new systems that use, 5e core mechanics. So we can create these 5e compatible systems that aren't 5e and don't need Witches of the Coast. And we're good. Bye. Like, see ya. Because I'm just pissed. Like, it was so dumb. They broke their brand. They ruined their brand. Apparently they have 3 full warehouses of unsold books. Yeah. And in the meantime, Paizo sells out of Pathfinder 2 like a 6-month supply of Pathfinder 2 in 3 weeks. So, yeah, they're having to reprint a whole bunch of books because they're just out of stock. Which is just crazy. That's insane. Let me see something. I kind of want to order Pathfinder 2E beginner box. Like, is that even in stock anymore? Nope. It's not even on Amazon anymore. I had sitting there for the longest time, like, should I buy it? Should I buy it? Nope. It's not in stock anymore. It's gone. It's gone. $55 now for, like... That's so crazy. That is so crazy. Wow. That's nuts. You can't even get it on Amazon anymore. Just gone. I'm sure it'll be back, and hopefully in a few weeks. Hopefully it won't be too long. I really want to play it now. Like, I have it on, I have access to it on Foundry, so I'll at least play it there. Yeah, I understand it. Introduces me to Pathfinder. I like Pathfinder a lot more than Dungeons and Donuts. Okay. So I think I'll pursue that. Who's to say in a few years they won't try a different tactic to get the same results they were trying to get this time? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Michael. But at the same time, because the SRD is now in Creative Commons, at the very least, no matter what they do with 6th edition or 7th edition or 8th edition, 5th edition is safe. You know, we have 5th edition, we like 5th edition, and we can continue to create content and play it forever without them. So at the very least, we're good there. That to me is a victory. Now, I hope that they don't do something stupid and restrict the hell out of the license for 6E. I think that would be a bad financial move on their part, but that's on them. Like, if they want to go the route of 4E, if they don't remember the what happened there, fine, let them relearn that lesson, and we'll see you guys in 7th edition. See how that goes. Maybe they just need to do even editions badly. I don't know. I think they did today what they did today is just diffused any future backlash significantly. Yeah, well, you're right, Building, because now, like I said, they can dig the biggest hole they want with 6th edition. They can put up the biggest walled garden they want. I'll just stay on the outside of the wall. I'm good with 5e. I'm fine, and I'm good with, and then thanks to them, thanks to their screw up, I've discovered the beauty of Pathfinder 2e. I just finally looked into Call of Cthulhu. I found out how a cool cipher system is. I found out I haven't opened the PDF really yet, but I've got Blades in the Dark. I've got Blades in the Dark looks cool, by the way. Like, everyone's always like, I want to run a game of all rogues and bards. I'm like, yeah, it's called Blades in the Dark. Like, apparently that's all it is. It's like a heist, and I'm dying to play it. It looks super cool. So, like, thanks to all this, a lot of us have been opened up to new systems. Maybe the things that we always said we were going to do, just never did it, and now we have. And I think that's awesome. I'm very, very glad that I finally started looking at these other systems. I'm very excited to find groups to try some of these other systems out. I definitely want to play some Pathfinder 2e. I'm very excited for it. It'd be great if some other publishers would start publishing some content for it. And this brings me back to, is it too late? Like, it's not too little. It's what we wanted. We won. But did we win too late? Is the damage done? Let me ask you this. How many of you are ready to just go back to WoTC? Are you gonna buy the next WoTC book? Who here wants to buy the next WoTC book? Give me a yes or no. When this first hit, I went to Paisa's website and it was crashing and I couldn't get the beginner box, so I got and on Amazon. I guess I was just lucky. It was on Amazon a couple of days ago when I looked, so I think they just ran out fairly recently. Was introduced to Morkborg. Yep, I haven't looked at that one. I'll have to look. It's hard to get people to switch from platforms they're already using. Instead of trying to get rid of other VTTs, this should make it easy to play everywhere. Portable content, access, sheets, transfers. Yeah, I agree. There's so many better ways to monetize D&D than what they were thinking. I mean, somebody was like, we're such. I think it was a guy on TikTok was like, we're such suckers for this stuff. If they had created like a bunch of dice and gave it cool names that were like D&D unique names for the dice, like Frostbolt Blue or Fireball Red or stuff like that, like people would have just bought it. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy that. Like they could have monetized so many things and not screwed the pooch on this, but it's what they did. So I got two no's. You guys are not gonna buy the next WoTC book. Yeah, I don't think I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't see any reason to. I do like that it's another anthology. I like the anthology books. Like Tales from the Yawning Portal was a good book. I like that one. That's probably one of my favorite 5e books, to be honest. There's so much good stuff. I mean, you got Tomb of Horrors. You got Tomb of Horrors in there, right there. That's great. And then you got the what's it called? The Lost Tomb of Teresh or whatever it is. I mean, you got the Against the Giants in there. I mean, that's so much good stuff. I was hoping that they were going to do a remake of what's it called, Descent into the Depths of the Earth, and like the whole Drow series that they did. I have those original, the original 1E pamphlets of those, but that was a good series. I was hoping to see that series redone in 5e. Keys of the Golden something, yeah. I like to resub. Didn't stop playing 5e, just stopped giving the money. Yeah, I'm not even ready to resub. Tell you the truth, I don't know if I see the value in it right now. Do you think this announcement will affect the movie coming out? Will people want to go to it now, or even the new series? Yes, I do think it'll affect it. I'm definitely considering going to see the movie, at least at this point. I know I've seen a few others who are very vocally, outspoken against the whole LGL thing, who said they'll at least see the movie at this point. This was enough to get them to go see the movie. Like I said, I still don't know about buying books, but I wanted to see the movie. I didn't want to boycott the movie, but I felt it was a necessity until this fight was won, and the fight is won. So I could see going to see the movie at this point. Thank you, The Hidden Shrine. Thank you. That was the one I was trying to think of. And Ghost of Saltmarsh has some good old ones in it too, by the way. I will buy third-party D&D again, but Wizards of the Coast will never get any more of my money again, at least not directly. I canceled a big semi-annual D&D Beyond sub. I've already started crossing over to Foundry. Yeah, dude, Foundry is great. I got at least one or two good Foundry. Well, I've got a few good Foundry videos, and I want to make more Foundry content. So yeah, I'm all about, I have a whole series of videos on Cobalt Press and Foundry. So take a look at those. I've even gone so far as to get a lot of the player's handbook and stuff like that into Foundry for myself, because it's nice to have. I wasn't going to go because of this. Now I will go see the movie. So there you go. I said for the keys of the Golden Riders, looking to find the third-party stuff and buy that instead. That's always been my thing, is look at third-party stuff. 5e as a system is great. And had this all not gone the way we wanted it to, I would probably continue to play 5e. I just wouldn't use WoTC's products. Sure, I own some books, and I might steal a couple things out of those because I already own the content, but I wasn't going to buy any more stuff, and I already use so much third-party content on my table anyways. So I can continue to play 5e forever without ever needing to buy another product if I didn't want to. My concern was more for my friends who are in the industry whose businesses were in jeopardy. My channel is kind of centric around third-party content. So if there's no third-party content, I don't have much of a channel. I have to rethink my entire channel, which I'm doing anyways. I think I might still switch everything over to GM Toolbox here. And like I said, I want to start bringing you guys other systems. I've picked up some of these books. I think that there's an interest from you guys to look at other systems. And I want to do that. I've already talking to this one other person today, this other publisher who sent me their media kit. I picked up a couple PDFs this week. So I want to continue to pursue that. But it'll be nice to also be able to continue to cover 5e stuff from third parties. I've never really covered Wizards of the Coast books. I think I've done one Wizards book, and that was the Minsk and Boo book, because I was kind of excited about it because I love Minsk. But yeah, aside from that, I've never really done an official Wizards of the Coast product review on my page. I did already want to try Blades of the Dark sometime. My DM has been running it too. No room for me, and I like its influence on her DMing. Very different rules, it seems. Yeah, I just picked up the PDF yesterday. So I'm going to look into it. Maybe this weekend I'll read up on it. I got to record my podcast on Sunday. For those of you who don't know, episode 2 of that Midgard show did drop today. So the history of Zobek is what that episode is on. And will be episode 3 will come out next Friday. So But yeah, I'm gonna record another episode on Sunday. So maybe tomorrow, if I have time, I'll dig into Blades in the Dark. It looks cool. Let me see, how many pages is it? Let's look. Where'd I put it? Blades in the Dark. Here it is. Blades in the Dark PDF. It is 336 pages. Let's see here. I just the art in it looks cool. Check this out. Here, let me pull it up. Let's see here. Here, check this out, man. This looks so cool. That's just the art style. Like, this is pen and ink art. Blades in the Dark is a game about a group of daring scoundrels building a criminal enterprise on the haunted streets of an industrial fantasy city. There are heists, chases, escapes, dangerous bargains, bloody skirmishes, deceptions, betrayals, victories, and death. We play to find out if the fledgling crew can thrive amidst the teeming threats of rival gangs, powerful noble families, vengeful ghosts, and the blue coats of the city watch, and the siren song of the scoundrel's own voice. I mean, how cool does that sound? It looks so cool. Let's see. Everyone has raved about Blades of the Dark as being some of the best gameplay. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it looks cool. This game takes place in the cold, foggy city of Duskval, aka Dustwall or the Dusk. It's industrial in its development. Imagine a world like ours during the second industrial revolution of the 1870s. There are trains, steamboats, printing presses, simple electrical technology, carriages, and black smog of chimney smoke everywhere. Duskville is something like a mashup of Venice, London, and Prague. It's crowded with row houses, twisting streets, and crisscrossed with hundreds of little waterways and bridges. The city is also a fantasy. The world is perpetual darkness and haunted by ghosts, a result of the cataclysm that shattered the sun and broke the gates of death 1,000 years ago. The cities of the empire are each encircled by crackling lightning towers to keep out the vengeful spirits and twisted horrors of the Deathlands. To power these massive barriers, the titanic metal ships of the Leviathan Hunters are sent out from Duskval to extract ectoplasmic blood from massive demonic terrors upon the ink-dark void sea. You're in a haunted Victorian-era city trapped inside a wall of lighting powered by demon blood. Okay, I'm in. Like, fucking, yeah, yes, please. Are you kidding me? Page 1, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. I find myself it's hard to move away from 5e. I have an upcoming game set in 5th, but I fear finding players might not be interested anymore due to it being 5e. I'll tell you what, Six Shooty, offer them, say, listen, we want to use 5e as a system, but we're going to use third-party content. So you have the SRD, and then pick up, like for me, if you haven't seen my video on playing 5e without WoTC products, I did a whole video, and I said, here are the Cobalt Press books. And I think, like, if you picked up, like, the Midgard Heroes Handbook and Tome of Heroes and said, here's all your player options, right there you have way more content and way better content than the Player's Handbook. And if you still want to use the Player's Handbook, too, for, like, subclasses, go for it. But that gives you guys just so much to play with. And then, you know, do your own homebrew world, or pick up the Midgard world, or, you know, something else. You know, or if you want maybe do like more of an Underdark thing, check out AAW. They've got their Underworld Races and Classes book, and then they've got Rise of the Drow for a huge Underdark adventure. I mean, there's so much 5e content. Or go to EN Publishing and pick up the Advanced 5e setting book. That right there, it's, you know, just a better version of 5e. So, I mean, I think that you guys should not shy away from 5e. Just shy away from WoTC if that's where the sour taste is. 5e is a system, you know, and it's not. I don't see it as WoTC's system. I see it as our system. Michael Stan says I was doing a lot of Kickstarter type things, $1 one shots before this happened, but now that I'm into Pathfinder, I'm trying to find someone who makes good one shots for Pathfinder. There's not a ton of Pathfinder 2e creators out there, but Legendary Games and Roll for Combat are two of the biggest ones. So check out their stuff. I haven't looked at it myself, but I both make good content. So I would imagine that their Pathfinder content is good too. Let's see here. Building says to 6 Shooty, I think this announcement will solve that issue at least until 6E is launched officially. We'll see. Like I said, Building, for me, I still have a kind of a sour taste in my mouth from WoTC, but I feel this relief that the industry is safe and that we can now create content again, not only around 5e, but create new systems based off of 5e. And that's huge. You know what else is coming out, by the way, 6e, is, or you can even use the old one if you can find the files, is there's a whole Middle-earth 5e setting. There's a new one coming out, but there's the old one too. The Adventures of Middle-earth. That could be a lot of fun. If your players are into Lord of the Rings, that could be something cool. Plus, great time to introduce them to new stuff. It is a great time to introduce them to new stuff. Not all who are wondering or lost says there are still people who want to play and more people wanting to be players than DM. Yeah, I mean, there is. There for sure is. The other thing too, if you don't mind rolling on virtual tabletops, come over to the Midgard Adventures Discord server, and we do organized play there. That's kind of like Adventure League, but way better because we don't restrict what you can run. It just has to take place in Midgard, so you can run any adventure you want. Just figure out a way to set it in Midgard. But we have a whole active community there, people willing to play. So you can either run one shots or you can run a campaign if you want to find a regular group there. All is kosher. So, let's see. Midgard is awesome. Yes. Those employees that leaked are going to go down in history as the people that blew the whistle on, or go down in history as the people that blew the whistle on Big Tobacco. By the way, that lady used to work at Philip Morris before Microsoft and Amazon. Yeah. Players generally just want to put their trust in a good DM to deliver a fun experience. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yep, Michael Stan said the same thing. Legendary Games, Roll for Combat. Yep. So both of them make Pathfinder 2 stuff, and they've both been selling like hotcakes. So, Discord link. Yes, let me get you the Discord link to the Midgard Adventure server. The guy that I do if you're new to Midgard and you weren't here earlier, I do have a podcast called That Midgard Show, and it's available on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. Google, though, sometimes takes a couple extra days to approve it. But we talk about the setting, basically. Like our episode 1 was all about the history of Midgard and of Cobalt Press, and episode 2 is about the history of Zobek. Episode 3 will start covering a couple of the different districts within Zobek. We're probably gonna do like four to 5 episodes just on Zobek alone. So that's That Midgard Show. Here's the link for Midgard Adventures. And the guy that co-hosted with me is also the person who founded the Midgard Adventures Discord server. So, yeah. Let's see here. And then if you guys are interested in that, let me pull that up for you. Let's see here. That Midgard Show. So here's the link to episode 2, but you can go to the channel and you can check out episode 1 as well. But that's the link to episode 2. Oh, you want to see the Midgard? We can pull the Midgard map up. Oops. Map.midgard.com. No, Midgard. It's midgardmap.cobaltpress.com. Always mess that up. Here you go. This is the map that they offer, free online, and very high detail. You can zoom way in on it. So here's Zobek right here in the crossroads, the Margrave Forest. You have just so much stuff here. And then if you want to see, like, let's go look at a map of Zobek. We go right over here, and we can pull up the Zobek map. And here's the Zobek map, which they still need to update because the buildings here are missing, and they fixed that in the new book, but they haven't updated the site yet. So yeah, this is a very, very, very handy tool. They got other maps here too. For instance, we've got a map of let's see here, Johast. So all sorts of useful maps and everything, and hopefully they'll add more to this site. Here's the Purbasat map. This is the city of Cats in the Southlands. Very, very cool. So yeah, Midgard's a great setting because there's just so many resources for it. And one of the cool things I like about Midgard as a setting is that it's fleshed out. It's got a ton of lore and it's super cool. But at the same time, they didn't overdevelop it to the point where you feel kind of restricted by the lore. In your Midgard, you can burn a city to the ground and it's just fine. Like it's kind of cool the way they did it. They leave certain things vague so that you can make them how you want them and do what you want with the setting. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that site building. That's a I don't want to bring that up on my channel for obvious reasons. My party is down in Linguist proper in the Southlands. There you go. Yeah, I want to get down into further into the Southlands. There's that huge lake down there I want to get to. I really keep hoping they're going to update the Midgard world map with the rest of the Southlands map. But Wolfgang said, I was talking to Wolfgang at Gen Con about it, and he told me that the guy who does the map and stuff like that is super busy and it's expensive and this and that. I'm thinking give me access and I'll do it. Can I make this work myself? Because it'd be cool if I could just take over the development of it. Yeah, look up Nord Games. They have great content to add to your 5e adventures. Yeah, so that's another good point, right? So Nord Games, they make really good tools to aid you, right? They're not so much here's a setting, here's an adventure. It's more do you need a city for your game? Here's a book on how to create a city. Do you need to put some traps in your dungeon? Here's a book on how to create better traps. Do you want to flesh out crafting in your game? Here's a book on crafting. So they give you true tools to help you with your game. They have a Kickstarter right now that's a deck of cards that will help you generate unique characters for your players to interact with. And the way they have it, basically this card deck, it's you grab a card, you roll, and then brings you to another card, or you can use the PDF, whichever. You can create over 1 billion unique characters with it. It's super cool. It's called the Oracle Story Generator, and it's a fantastic product. In fact, I'll put a link to it for you guys, as I have an affiliate link for that one. Let me see here. Where's my message from Chris? So here's a link to their current Kickstarter. Definitely recommend it. Show the bestiary books. Yeah, so they do have cool bestiary. And you know what else I like of theirs is their NPC books. Let me grab them actually, because you're right. They're cool. So here's one of their monster books. This is Ultimate Bestiary. The Dreaded Accursed. And what I like about these books is they kind of give you for instance, here, let me find a good one that I can use. They'll have, for instance, wights, right? But then they'll have all these different types of them. So it's not like, so man, there's a lot. So here we get to this section here on whites, and then when we go through, we've got a white tracker, we've got a white hunter, we got the slayer of the living, we've got a white champion, a white warrior. So they have, like, you know, categories, you know, and their other book is called The Revenge of the Horde, and it's like, you know, orcs and bugbears and goblins, and they'll have all these different types of them. So if you're like, all right, I want to put my party up against some goblins, but I don't want to just use goblin and goblin boss, here's 20 different types of goblins you can use. And then they have different types based on terrain, like is it a forest goblin or is it a mountain goblin, and like stuff like that. So super, super cool. Then for their NPC books, they've got two of them. This is the Skullduggery one. So this is kind of like your shady type characters. And what they'll do with this is they will have a character. So they'll give you this this NPC. So let me pull one of them up. All right. So here is this NPC right here, Alar Oakenheel, right? And here he is at level 1, but then here he is at level 4, and then here he is at level 8, and at level 12, and at level 16, and at level 20. So you get the same character over and over again at different levels, so that you can put him anywhere in your game at any point, and he's level appropriate to either go against your party or be an ally to your party, or just be level appropriate for whatever you need for the game. And so it's super, super cool how they do that. And they'll have several NPCs in here. So they have that one. They have one called Warfare. So it's a bunch of like more militaristic type of characters. So Nord is like very good at just creating these super useful tools. These books are probably, you know, 5e books. Some of their few system specific books, but most of their books are pretty system agnostic, which is really great. A lot of their stuff is very system agnostic. Yeah, the NPC books are great. Wizard of the Coast should have split them all up by campaign and made you buy a whole adventure in order to unlock a half dozen variant creatures. There's a lot of ways they could have done it. Really, there is. There's so many good ways they could monetize D&D without being dicks about it. You know? I don't know. I feel like if they said, hey, Chris Perkins, what do you think we should do here? He'd be like, well, let me tell you. Like, you know, they need to like ask the people who actually understand us how to monetize us better. It ain't microtransactions. I can tell you that. Like, I just feel like I'm sure it'll work to an extent, but I feel like there's a better way that everyone will be like, yeah, you know, it kind of sucks. I got to spend more money, but it's worth it. You know, adventure paths, kind of like how Pathfinder does it. They did like a series of adventure paths. That would be kind of cool. I don't know, man. There's just so many good ways to monetize it. You know, the Beetle and Grimm stuff is great. Like, I'm sure that WoTC makes money off the Beetle and Grimm stuff too. But like those premium sets, man, people eat those up. They eat that kind of stuff up. You know, premium content. The limited edition covers, I always buy those. That's a good way to do it too. I just feel like they could have done a better job. That's all. I really, really do. I think there is much better ways to have done this. So, yeah. Seeing what else you guys got for me here. So what do you think of that Blades in the Dark PDF, by the way? I'm kind of really digging that. It just sounds super cool. Like, I just want to sit here and read this PDF. I feel like it's like what do you call it? Oh man, what's the genre called? Noir. You know, like that just rugged, gritty city crime kind of thing. I don't know. I like those NPC books. I can grab a high-level NPC and stick it in my game. Yeah, and not only that, like, you can have an NPC that, like, recurring over the course of your campaign, as the players re-encounter them, they become more powerful too. It's, you know, kind of keep pace with the players. You want to know what happened to Ray Winginger? Yeah, I don't know. I thought D&D Shorts was going to kind of reveal that. I don't know if he ever did or not. Um, I don't know. Maybe he objected to all these plans and they outed him. That's possible. That's definitely possible. Um, Ask people who actually know something about your customers. That's crazy talk. It is. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's why. That's what these executives are for. Is because they don't need to know the customers. They just need to know how to milk them for all they're worth. Ah, okay. Well, Michael, thank you for the super chat. I want to TPK my group, so I started my Coastal Wizard in Towers campaign. Am I wrong for that? You want to TPK your group, or you want to have the threat of TPK? There's a big difference. I never want to TPK a group, but I want them to think they're going to get TPK'd. I want that threat hanging over their head. I want them to be scared every time they go into combat. I want them to think about what they're doing. I don't want them to just jump in all the time. I want them to stop, think, plan. When I play D&D, I always try to gather as much info as I can, and I make a plan. And my DM loves it because, and he rewards it. He's like, because of this is happening. You're gonna get a free surprise round. This is out. This doesn't work for the bad guys, and then he usually awards me with extra experience or something like that. So, you never TPK your group on purpose. Yeah, well, no, I would never do it on purpose either. Oh, I see what you're saying. You want to TPK your group so you can start your Coastal Wizards in a tower campaign. Oh, no, 2 campaigns. You just need to be DMing more, my friend. You just need to run more games. There's always time for more D&D. Always. Let's see. Me too. But related to D&D Shorts, yeah. D&D Shorts decided he shouldn't be the one to tell us. That's probably smart. No one won, dude. Everyone lost. Elaborate. I mean, the way I see it, the win here is that it's not that, oh, let's all go back and play, buy WoTC products. The win here is that content creators are now safe to create content, not just for 5e, but 5e adjacent systems or, systems that are built off of 5e. So we as players win in that there's more content and more options available to us. That to me is the win. Also, that my virtual tabletops are still safe. That to me is a win. You know, I don't care. I'm not looking to go crawl back to Wizard of the Coast and saying, "Please take my money again. Let me buy your books." I'm not resubbing to D&D Beyond. None of that's happening. But content creators are now safe to create, and that is a win for everybody. I'm about to start another game. I think probably Pathfinder 1E. I just discovered Numeria and the crazy sci-fi fantasy stuff. My mind is running wild. Yes, my very good friend Mr. Trask did a great video on Numeria. Super cool. I picked up the Cypher core book. Now I want to pick up the Numeria book. Because yeah, it does look cool. I do like the Cypher system. I think it looks neat. I also really like the Call of Cthulhu system. I feel like that whole system is super cool the way that's designed. I need to get into some Call of Cthulhu. I actually had the perfect DM for that too. I want to play Call of Cthulhu more than I want to run it. You're a busy man. Being an electrician doesn't leave me much time to D&D. I didn't know you were an electrician. I'm gonna pick your brain on how I'm gonna wire up my D&D table when I build it. I have some thoughts. I need your ideas. I'm always worried I'm gonna shock myself. I'm gonna electrocute myself. I'm waiting for 9Jester9 to elaborate because I'm legitimately curious in your opinion on this. Honestly, I'm not being a dick or anything, like, because I mean here's the loss, right? The loss is that so much damage was done, so much trust was lost. The community, I don't know if the community really splintered. I feel like the community kind of came together, but people are now gone, right? People are going to Pathfinder 2. There's people in this channel who are like, I'm going to Pathfinder 2 and I'm not coming back. And that's unfortunate because the 5e community lost you. So that part is a loss. There's so much, I don't know, distrust out there that it does suck. But I do think that, like I said, 5e being in Creative Commons and being safe from Wizards of the Coast means regardless of what the idiots at Wizards or Hasbro decide to do with D&D moving forward, we have 5e. We will always have 5e. They can't take that away from us anymore. That's it. It's that part's done. That's a victory. But yeah, I mean, yeah, in some ways there are things that we lost from this for sure. You know, I feel like I can never trust that company again. Maybe that'll change over time. Maybe in 7th edition or something, they'll be able to bring us back like they did in 5th edition. But I don't know. Time will tell. But you're not wrong. There's definitely losses, but there's also wins here too. There's a split in the D&D legacy. It allows those who care to keep their gaming and keep creating new content, while Wizards of the Coast takes the branded official content forward in the digital domain. Yeah. I mean, there was never really an issue with us keeping the game. It was more an issue with the content we'd be able to bring out for the game in the future. I think that's where the issue was. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Oh, you deliver pizza, Yeah. Nope, too late. You're wiring up my table. Yeah, the trust is lost with WoTC. I gotta say, I'm just happy I can go back to Forgotten Realms without guilt. I grew up with it, and I'm doing a game set in Icewind Dale right now, and that's the best one I've ever run. All right, Nick, so for sure. And you know what? Honestly, you should never feel guilty about running a game in Forgotten Realms. You probably already own the content. You know, like my advice would be don't go out and get new content, but there's nothing wrong running a game in Forgotten Realms. You could have run a game in Forgotten Realms without anything. There's plenty of Forgotten Realms information out on the internet and the wikis and maps, and you could have done whatever you wanted with it. You don't need a 5e WoTC book to do that. But if you want a suggestion for adapting your Icewind Dale game into a third-party content setting, I highly recommend you look at AAW Games. Their setting, it's a huge continent, but the area that there's most developed is a very Icewind Dale-esque area, and if you're going to go into the Underdark at all, you know, they got that covered for you. So you might even just want to look at Rise of the Drow as inspiration and things you can do with your game and add to your Forgotten Realms game, even if you don't want to take it out of the Forgotten Realms, because some good stuff there. I was excited about the movie and at least look at 6e after the OGL thing. I don't really want to look at 6e, but we'll go see the movie. Yeah, I will tell you one thing. There's one thing about 6e I really want to look at. Really want to look at, and that's the new DMG. It was Perkins. Was it Perkins or Crawford working on the new DMG? One of those guys working on the new DMG. And I'm a DMG fan. Like, I've always loved the DMG. Even the 5e one, I always like. I'll look at it, I'm like, how did I miss this in here? Like, there's Dungeon Master Guide is one of the most underrated books, and it could definitely use improvements for sure. But it's a great book, and I'm super excited to see what they do with it in the future. Man, wow. And if you guys want, don't forget, hit the like button. Help drive those algorithms and bring some more people in. And then we do have super chats on. If you guys want to bump your chat up and support the channel, I'd appreciate it. Let's see. Though I'm trying to get to everybody's comment as best I can. Whew. Let's see. It seems to be more personal office politics, maybe. I'm just curious for more tea on the WoTC crappy workplace environment. So here's, I'll give you some tea on that. I have a friend in there, and he hasn't really said much to me. And I told him I didn't want him to have to give up, too much info or anything like that, because I didn't want, to put him in any kind of weird spot. But I think there was definitely some positivity there. People, I think he knew maybe some of this was coming, and they were feeling positive about it. And when the news dropped today, he pinged me and he seemed very excited. So I think that overall right now there's a pretty good feeling among a lot of the employees that, hey, this is what the employees there, the common employees there, wanted, was this outcome. And I think they're happy to have it. Let's see here. Let's see. Chocolate cake. What about chocolate cake? I like chocolate cake. AEW has awesome Underdark stuff. I think all their products, maybe not. I have all their products. I have actually an editor on Rise of the Drow. And their new Kickstarter, Roltmark, oh god, it's so good. Can't wait till you guys see that. And if you didn't know, they announced on my channel, actually, a while back. I was doing an interview with them on Roltmark, and they made an official announcement of Rise of the Drow After the Fall, which is a sequel to Rise of the Drow, where you get to play as Drow. So, in the end of Rise of the Drow are defeated, blah, blah, blah. A coalition of other underworld races basically go in and kind of capture the Drow and are trying to reform them to be good citizens of the Underdark. But it kind of gets a little big brothery, and the Drow are trying to break free and earn their freedom back, and kind of rebel against the coalition. So you get to play a Drow, an evil Drow, fighting for your freedom against the oppressive good guys. Very interesting twist. And because you're all playing Drow, to make it, so that not everybody's got the same racials, each of the houses of the Drow city, you pick which house you want to be a part of, and you'll have unique racial abilities based on that. So very, very cool. Looking forward to it. I'm going to be actually DMing some playtests of that in the near future. So super, super excited. Let's see. I think he said it was a sad story back when he was planning to tell it. Oh, yeah, you're talking about, what's his name from WoTC, yeah. My friend was going to DM for a bit and try to run Rise of the Drow with our game. My party has a home base in Death Knight's Crypt, and there's a well. Yeah, that'll be cool, man. If you get to run it, it's such a great story. If you guys have any questions about it or need help, let me know. I know that book backwards and forward with my eyes closed. Does WoTC have a great Forgotten Realms map like Cobalt Press's Midgard map? Honest question, not trolling. Nobody has a great map like that, but there are a lot of very good Forgotten Realms maps. I mean, you can Google them. There's so many good ones. The current Sword Coast map is great, but if you want a full Forgotten Realms map, there are some out there that are very, very good. It's hard to know when they're dated because Forgotten Realms has gone through so many changes and stuff throughout the generations. I don't know if there's really a current, here's what the realms look like in 5e kind of map, but there's some good maps out there. 6e DMG. All right, so re 6e DMG. This was my big worry about 6e. The directions seem to be putting much more control of mechanics in the player's hands. Maybe a good thing, maybe not. The 3rd edition Forgotten Realms campaign setting book comes with a map. I'm looking for a website that is as good. There's just not going to be a website that's good as the Midgard map, man. They're just not. You just need to find a good map. You know what else is good? Hold on. Oh, let me go behind the black flag. Where is it? No. Is that it? No. Yes. Here you go. That's what you want, buddy. Right there. That is the Atlas of the Forgotten Realms. This is a 2nd edition book, but it's got just tons and tons of maps and stuff in it. Super, super cool. All sorts of good stuff. All sorts of locations and places. Information. This is a great book. Yeah, playing Midgard. That's what I do. Let's see here. I'd like to see WoTC come out with some DM only books, one that would help give new veteran DMs ideas and guidelines. You know what that's called? Nord Games. that's when you go to Nord Games, because that's exactly what they're filled with. That is their forte. I'm looking for So the Sword Coast Adventures Guide in Roll20 has a lot of maps. I just use it in my game. Not as good as Midgard maps. I just use my games. Yeah, I mean, the Midgard map is so great. It's so great. Six shooty fun. Absolutely, I'm always here to help you out with anything you need, man. I appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. Yeah, dude, if like you want to be a better DM, look at Nord Game stuff. Like, there's so much good stuff. Like, I was never traps and puzzles and stuff, not my strong suit. That Treacherous Trap book, that thing is money. I love that book, and I really like the crafting book a lot. Like, and now they have the Gathering book coming out. I'm just absolutely loving it. Nord Games is just filled with quality content for DMs. But yeah, I am excited to see what they do with the 60 DMG. That's one book I do want to at least take a peek at. Like, I'll go to the bookstore and open it up and I'll look at it, and if I think it's worth it, maybe I'll pick it up. Or I'll wait till somebody buys it and sells it used somewhere, and I'll buy it used. The Nord Games Cities book, does it have a device for making maps? Let's look. That's a good question. This is my absolute favorite book of all times. What this does have is it does have some pre-made maps of cities. But let's take a look, because I'm not 100% sure on that question. So we have here encounters, fortress, capitals, pre-generated cities, interesting NPCs, locations, information, encounters, rumors. I don't think it's got information for really making maps per se. But fleshing out your cities, it does. Now, when it comes to making city maps, a couple of tools I can recommend. It's funny, they actually have they actually have in the back. Look at this. They have a map grid sheet here for you, so you can make maps. I mean, obviously you'd photocopy that page or use the PDF, but they do have a thing for making the map. Let me see here. What's this? Oh, look at this. Huh. So you know what? They sort of do, because look at this. They give you information on kind of like symbols and stuff. If you can see that. So they do sort of have some information for map making. That's for a castle. But so there is this random city map generator tool out there. I'll have to find the URL. That's super cool. I personally use Campaign Cartographer 3, and then there's 3 extensions. There's Campaign Cartographer 3 gets you like world building, and then there's a cities extension for it and a dungeon extension. So I use those to create maps, and you can do some really cool stuff. And then you can buy different like art styles from different cartographers. So like Mike Shully, who does a lot of the official 5e maps, he's got a city map style, so you can make maps that look like his maps in Campaign Cartographer 3. So super, super useful tool. It's a little pricey. It's definitely a little harder to use because it's based on AutoCAD, so there's definitely a learning curve, but there's a great Facebook community to help, as well as forums. And there's the Cartographers Guild website as well. And then around Thanksgiving every year, they do Black Friday sales on their stuff, so you can get a lot of cool stuff that way. So you can, at the very least, go to the Campaign Cartographer 3 Facebook group and check it out, because there's a ton of good stuff in there for map making. Um, Honestly, just knowing what the parts of the city should be is probably half the battle. There's just a geometry problem, you know. Um, so let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go ahead into here. I don't know how much of the Nord book you've seen. Oh, by the way, just sneaky peek for my loyal viewers who are here. My channel is getting closer and closer to 2,000 subscribers. When that happens, I have a big giveaway with some of my favorite publishers, all donating books. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you have the notifications on. I'll be making the official announcement soon, but there are definitely giveaways coming. Good giveaways, by the way. Good giveaways. Big books, heavy books. Okay, spectacular settlements. All right, so here's spectacular settlements. So what's cool about this book, what I love about this book, is let's say we want to create just even a town, right? It doesn't matter. It's essentially a series of tables. So let's just jump over here to page 91. So we're going to create a town, and it just walks you through a bunch of steps. Now, if we already know the answer to our town, like let's say we're playing Midgard and we there's a town on the map and we know very little about it, but we know something about it. We just skip those rolls and just select that appropriate thing. But we roll a d8. What's the origin of the town? What's their priority? How old is the town? What's its speciality? Right? You start rolling all this. And what's cool is in the back of the book, or if you have the PDF, you can download these. There's a sheet right here. So you fill out the answers. So your town or your city literally has a character sheet. And sometimes, some of these rolls will affect other things. So right here it says like prosperity. You'll add a little number here, population density. So you might get a plus or a minus to your die roll on a certain table based on a previous roll. But essentially it walks you right through and you end up with this awesome town when you're all done with all this information about it. So you literally have a character sheet for your city or town. It is one of the coolest freaking books out there. System neutral. This is not a 5e book. This will work in D&D 15th edition. Like, it doesn't matter. So all sorts of cool stuff you can do with it. Pathfinder, doesn't matter. It's definitely more designed around fantasy RPG, but I could see it working in like Star Wars or something like that if you really wanted to. I think it'd be super cool. Definitely one of my favorite books. Yeah, you'll take the TOBLE cover. You can over my dead body. You'll have to fight me for that. Okay. Finally, I got onto the Discord. I don't know why I was having so much trouble, but I finally worked. Is that the Midgard Discord, Michael? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. When you get into the Midgard Discord, make sure you go up to, if you go up under, where is it? There's some information up under General, and then there is, where is it here? Character tools, mapping tools, general voice. Under Organized Play, there's a whole bunch of information. So there's information like how we do creating characters, how we award, instead of experience points, it's like kind of like checkpoint system and a treasure point system and stuff like that. So make sure you read through it, but there's a bunch of good information in there. Nick, thank you for the super chat here. Nick says, thank you for all the advice. I feel much more confident in my games now, especially Rise of the Drow, Icewind Dale. Yeah, dude. Very interchangeable there. Holith is kind of their version of Menzoberranzan. There's a great map. There is all the information in the different drow houses. The main drow house, House Hollith, has, or not House Hollith, drawing a blank, but the main house, you have a chapter that shows each of the family members, all the sons and daughters of the matron mother, what their motivations are. A lot of them are even going against each other. There's a lot of political intrigue happening there. It's such a good book. It's such a well thought out book. So, and if you pick up a newer version of it, and you'll see my name in there as one of the editors. That's so kind of proud of that. And I'm going to be getting the Foundry version 10 update out later this year. Right now I'm working on their Roltmore campaign for Foundry, which I'm nearly done with. I'm going to try to wrap that up this weekend if I can. It's going to be tough to find the time. So really, I just have to do the maps and some QA, but everything else is done, and it looks freaking awesome. So once that's done, I'll finish up Rise of the Drow for version 10 of Foundry. It is available. You can buy Rise of the Drow right now on Foundry, and it works. I just want to clean up the journal system and make it look prettier. Am I planning on keeping the flag? For now. At some point, I'll probably have to take it down. I don't know though. Like, I want to maybe I'll hang it like over on my wall over here or something. Or maybe I'll hang it from the ceiling. That'd be kind of cool if I kind of hung it from the ceiling. As if you look up top here, let me tilt my camera up. So if you look up top here, I could totally like kind of drape it from the ceiling and kind of have it up there above all that stuff. So that can kind of be cool. So maybe we'll do something like that. I don't know. What I really want is I want Kobold Press to sell a black flag with a white kobold on it. Kind of like the sticker and stuff. Like I want them to make a freaking flag, because that would be super cool. Deep Magic is Pathfinder 70K. So happy for Kobold Press and the people who support them. Yep. I found this guy, Steven, very cool. He's doing some Pathfinder beginning box sessions through Foundry. I can't wait. I have the box set, the beginner box on Foundry, and I want to play it. I just need a group. I need to find people who want to play. I'm thinking what I want to do with the channel, because I haven't done it yet, is I want to turn on members. And what I think I might do is I'd like to run games for members. So maybe what I would do is pick 5 or 6 members at random and run a one-shot for them, like once a month kind of deal. So we could do something from the beginner box, or just find some Pathfinder one-shots or something like that and run them, because I think that'd be a cool little thing to do for members of the channel, because I definitely want to do that. Do you need a paladin for what? For Pathfinder 2? If I run a game? I need players in general. Thank you, Building, for the super chat / donation. Appreciate it very, very, very much. Yeah, like I said, let me look into it in this next week, and maybe I'll turn memberships on, and we'll start. I want to figure out really what I want to make sure I'm offering something really cool for you guys. I don't want to just be like, be a member, like I wanted there to be something. And I got some great suggestions in my community section of the YouTube channel. Some people had some great ideas. I was thinking one thing we could do is like maybe once a week I'll do a live stream where we create an adventure together, and then I'll distribute that like a PDF of that to all my members that month for free, and then I'll run that one shot for some members. How much is membership? I don't know yet. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna look. $5 or something. I don't know. I want to see where the. Like I said, if I'm gonna do a membership, I want to give you value out of it, right? I want to do something fun, and I want to do something cool. I think creating an adventure together would be fun, and giving it to all the members, and then selecting a few members at random and running it would be a lot of fun. I've got this series of adventures I've been kind of working on for a long time that I'd love to flesh out. I already have the first one done, so it could be one that I can definitely run pretty easily for everybody. And then kind of building on that. The problem is if I start to create that and distribute that, I need to figure out what I'm going to do about art because like when I'm just running a personal game, I can grab art off the internet and use it. But if I'm going to be distributing it, I need to look into what art is going to look like. And if I have to pay for art, I need to figure out, it's fine as long as I'm making enough money off memberships to pay for the art, because art's not cheap. So that's the other thing I have to kind of think about. Because like I said, I want to give you guys value. I'm not looking to just, give you some emojis. Like that's not cool. Like you guys need to you got to get something out of it. I want it to be worth it. So, but yeah, I think the adventure building and running some one shots and stuff like that could be a lot of fun. And then as the channel grows, if these lives get more popular, I need some mods. I'd love to do like a mod campaign. Like I'd run a campaign for my mods. Yeah, for sure, right? Like I'd do a few different levels, right? Like 5 would be the entry level, and then I'd have like an advanced or an intermediate and advanced level, 3 levels, like 5, 7, 10, or something like that. And then and then maybe we'll do some giveaways too, right? Like if I can get some PDFs or something like that from some of my publishers that they'll let that I can get to do giveaways with, where we'll roll the wheel, like we'll do a random drawing on live streams, and you'll get a PDF of Survivalist Guide to Splunking, or to maybe like a Cobalt Press book or something. Like either I'll buy them myself with the funds from the memberships, or maybe they'll get do some donations or whatever. I like to do giveaways. So like I know some YouTubers do a thing where like anybody who becomes a member or gifts a membership during a live stream, they get added to a wheel, and they get a giveaway. And then they'll do a second giveaway for all the members. So stuff like that would be kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to give away physical books because buying them and shipping them, it can get expensive. But I can definitely give away some PDFs and stuff of things. So yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, I'm totally up for one shots. I would love to run one shots for you guys. I love running games. I'm a forever DM, but I'm good with that because I love DMing. I just love it. It's so much fun. To be part of the adventure building process and then be able to play it, that's a great idea. Yeah, for sure, right? I mean, you're gonna know what happens or whatnot, but so what? You just don't meta it. We have fun with it. And maybe what we'll do is if we do my series that I want to do, the first adventure I already have done, so like we can run that. I'll run that for you guys, and we'll stream it so that everybody can watch it, and then we'll build the second one because I kind of have this area that I built, this little section of a world, and I've got locations for multiple adventures that all tie together. But I have adventure 1 already done, and it's fun. I've run it a few times already, and did some play testing and tweaking on it. And every time I run it, it's so funny. It's so funny. Send you all my PDFs. Yeah, well, like I said, shipping is hard as it is. With the giveaway that I'm going to be doing, one of the publishers has international shipping, so they'll ship. One of them does not, so they said do U.S. only, and the other one said if they're in the U.S., we'll give them a book. If they're out of the U.S., we'll give them a store credit. And maybe I'll ask the other publisher, hey, if the winner's out of the U.S., what if we just let them have a store credit? Like whatever the amount is, and they can order. And then if it goes over that, they'll have to cover their shipping. But that way, we're giving the same amount of value to everybody. So maybe we can do something like that. We'll see. I'm working with 3 different publishers on products to give away. Would you be able to DM some Midgard one-shots, or do you run into the artwork issue? No, we can DM one-shots, but what I'm saying is if we create our own adventure and then publish that adventure, like I'd have the members help create, or really I'd have everybody help create the adventure. We do a live stream like this, and everybody in the stream can help create the adventure, but then all the members would get a free copy of the adventure when it's done. But that means that publishing the adventure, artwork, has to be paid for, or it has to be Creative Commons. Creative Commons art is not always great. Now, the other thing we could do, I just thought about this, is I could get into I could buy into the AI art, and we can use all AI art in it. That could work too. But I'd like to support artists. Like, I don't want AI putting the artist out of work, but at the same time, depends on what we can afford. A piece of art could be like $100. So, and then what I could do is do like a Patreon or something like that, so that others can buy it, or I can publish it through RPG or something like that. So, I don't know. Like I said, you guys are the loyalist of followers, so I'm interested in what you think would be good. Dude, the AI art is fun to play with. Like, as just a DM, right? If you're looking to homebrew, or even if you're running an official campaign, the AI art is great because you can generate images to show to your players. For Tome of Annihilation, there's this guy who is just generating art for Tome of Annihilation through it, and he keeps posting it in the Tome of the Tome of Annihilation DMs group on Facebook, and it's amazing. It's so much fun to play with. AI art is fine for personal use, but don't do the illustrators like that for publishing. I agree. Like, I'd rather hire an artist. It just really depends on the cost. If we can cover the cost, then I'm all about it. If we can cover the cost, artists aren't cheap. And I know some artists because working with publishers, I can ask, maybe we just do like 3 or 4 pieces of art. If we could swing it, I'm totally down. All right, well, you let me know how much art will cost. If you're an illustrator and you want to do art for it, and you tell me what the cost is. Like that's I guess what I'm I just want to make sure that I don't lose money on it. I don't care about breaking even. I don't want to lose money. I just discovered your channel during this whole mess up with Dungeons and Donuts, but I figured I'd be a longtime supporter. Well, I'm very happy to have you here, man. I will say, the whole debacle definitely brought in some new viewers, which I'm grateful for. Not the way I prefer to have gotten new viewers, but 2023, I really want to make a big year for the channel. I want to do stuff to really grow it. And I would love to make this my full-time job is the channel, content creation, Foundry stuff. I like this to be what I do for a living, but I'm a long ways off. But I'm willing to put the work in to make it happen. The hard part is right now balancing my day job and, making sure I'm doing my day job right. I'm giving my employer my full attention during my work hours and doing the best job I can, and then doing this in the evenings and the weekends and still giving my family time. It's very, very difficult. Very, very, very difficult. But, I want to eventually make this my thing. Unfortunately, AI is here to stay. Illustrators are about to feel the pain that music producers and artists have experienced since streaming killed downloads. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the AI art is cool. I think it's a lot of fun to play with as just a DM for my home games. But I do think as a publisher, I really would prefer to use artists. I think that it's just, there's something to be said for it. I don't think the machine can capture what a real artist can do. But that said, the AI art could be a very good way for new publishers who are just starting out to get their first few products out and to start to see if they can make an income. And once they do, then you can start paying artists. But it's definitely hard. Now, if I had like a subscriber here on the channel who was like, hey, I'm an artist and I'd like to help you out and give you like a good price on these first few products to help you get going, that's a whole nother story. Hint, hint. Does Mrs. DM Toolbox approve of you doing all these live streams? She does. She rolls her eyes and groans, and she's probably in there going, when is you coming to bed? I want to watch TV. but she's very, very, very supportive of me because she knows that if I do turn this into a full-time gig and do this as a living, she knows it's going to make me very happy because she sees how happy I was today with the news, how happy I am when I get off these streams with you guys, how giddy I am after running a game. Like game day, when all of our friends leave after our game, I'm just in a good mood. Like she knows how happy this makes me. And not the other part of that is how freeing it would be to just be my own boss and be able to say, hey, we're going to go away this week, we're going to go on vacation, and, I get some content ready to, scheduled to publish, and we can go, and I can go to all the conventions and write that off and do things like that, and then she has this amazing job that she loves and she travels for, and I'll be able to go on those trips with her and, still work and do things. So yeah, she's extremely, extremely supportive of me. She's amazing. My wife is the best. I don't know if she's more supportive now that she plays. I mean, she's been playing for 4 or 5 years. She's always been supportive of me, no matter what I do. I'm a guy with a ton of hobbies. Like D&D is my biggest hobby, but I'm into metal detecting, and I have like $1,000 metal detector. I'm into astronomy. I've got like 3 telescopes. I'm into fly fishing. I have a bunch of fly rods. I play golf. So I've got like a bunch of hobbies. And she rolls her eyes and, moans, and like a good wife does. But at the same time, she's always been very supportive of all of my passions. And I always make sure I have enough time for her. And if I'm ever not giving her enough time or she needs me more, she lets me know, and I go, okay, and I make sure I help out around the house. I do the dishes, I help with the kids, I cook, I clean, I do whatever I need to, because she deserves it. I would love to use Dr. Dre as a producer, but today AI is creating comparable music for free at a fraction of the cost. AI is going to get better. It is going to get better. I don't know how we're going to deal with that as a society. It's funny because I saw a story on Good Morning America or whatever, the Today Show, about AI and how like kids are being able to use Chat GPT to write papers in school and stuff. And I'm like, how are we going to adapt to this as a society? Because it's here, it's happening. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but how we use it is really going to determine how good it is and its effect on society. So it's a weird thing because it is cool. I enjoy playing with it. Hell, I got on one day and I was trying to write a macro for Foundry, and I'm not great at my JavaScripting yet. And I popped it in there and said, write a macro for Foundry, VTT, V10 that does this. And it wrote the macro for me in 2 seconds. I'm like, well, that's convenient. So it has its good uses, but yeah, I mean, I worry about its effect on artists, musicians, artists, graphic artists, things like that. Midjourney is great, but considering you have to pay a sub to be able to use Beyond Trial, it means you're actively diverting money away from the artist who created the original seed imagery. Yeah, it does. Yeah. I don't know, what to say. I mean, I think it's a fun thing to play with. As somebody who's not creating content, who's not a publisher, as a guy who's sitting in his house DMing, Midjourney is great because you're not going to go hire an artist to do stuff for your games, especially if you want art for every little town and view and every session. It's not feasible, right? But you can use Midjourney for that. But I do agree that if you're publishing, I think you should use artists if you can. I think that if you can, you should use real artists. I think because just like I want, because what's the stop? Here's the deal: if I'm not going to use a real artist to do the art for the piece of content I'm going to publish, what's to stop you as a consumer from buying my product because you can just use AI to write an adventure for you? Why buy from me? Just have AI create it for you. So I think it's a matter of just supporting each other. But yeah, I mean, is that going to be enough, Angel? Or is over time, are we just going to lose that battle? and we're art is not going to be a thing for people anymore. I don't know. I hope not. I want to hope that won't happen, but hell if I know. As a lecturer, I could tell you we know when a paper is written by AI. Yeah, there are certain telltale stuff, but like we said, AI is getting better. If WoTC had their way, we might have been it might have been illegal. Yeah. I mean, you could be out there doing a lot worse things. I mean, we're home and you're having fun and you're not doing anything illegal. I'm a music producer. I have $100,000 studio, which will never be recouped. A track I would get $15,000 for 20 years ago. I can barely get me 150 in 2023. That sucks. That just sucks. It's a different world, man. I don't know. That's why when the whole AI DM thing came out, I was just not happy about it. And I understood what the thought behind it was. And again, they're saying it's not true. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Who knows? I can't believe a thing that comes out of their mouths anymore. Plausible deniability, though, right? But I just don't see it as a good thing. Like I said, AI is neat as a toy. I don't feel like it should be a replacement for people. Unfortunately, graphic artists will feel the same pain very soon. Yeah. Hey, I just got my friend Nicole to D&D. She's the one that goes to Ava's new school. Oh, I know who this is. So, error here. Wait, I can use AI for that. You guys want to know who that is? I'll tell you who that is. That's my daughter. I guarantee that's my daughter watching our stream going, I can use AI to do my homework. Hey, Roll for Combat's here. Hey, guy. We were talking about you guys earlier. Somebody was asking about, they were looking for one-shots for Pathfinder 2, and I'm like, well, I know Roll for Combat and Legendary Games does Pathfinder 2 content. So, yeah. Do you guys have one-shots? Do you have one-shots for Pathfinder 2? I can hear my daughter laughing in the other room. We have a free adventure. Well, there you go. There you go, man. If you want, Michael, if you guys want, I'm in your Discord. I think I was either GM Toolbox or DM Toolbox in your Discord. Send me a link to the adventure, and I'll put it in my chat right now. Includes everything you need. Pre-gens, tokens, Pathfinder 2e. Perfect. Do you have it for VTTs like Foundry? That's the question. I'm a Foundry guy, so I'm all about, I do content conversion for 5e stuff for Foundry right now. So at some point maybe I'll be doing Pathfinder 2 Foundry conversion as well. But I did Creature Codex for Cobalt Press, and I've done several projects for AAW games, including Rise of the Drow, which is the largest 5e adventure ever released in Foundry. So, and one of the largest 5e adventures ever released, period. But oh, good, it's being built right now. Excellent. Yeah, I'm a big Foundry fan. So, so let's see here. The difference is that you aren't any multi-platinum millionaire rock star illustrator, right? Jobs producing and job illustrating are on par with AI issues, but record labels were ripping off musicians a long time before downloads and AI were. Yeah, I'm experimenting with some stuff for AI. I'm not going to say what yet, because when I do it, if it works out, I'm going to do a video about it, because it's kind of creepy and weird. Not creepy, but I don't know how to put it. It's neat that it could work, but bad that it does. And I kind of want to expose those kind of issues with AI so that maybe they can do something about it. So what is the consensus? Will everyone continue to publish for 5e now that it's a CC license? Good question. Yes, I think there will be people publishing 5e, but more importantly, um, we could all they can also publish 5e adjacent systems, which will be good as well. So that's something else that I'm kind of curious about, is to see like things like Black Flag that could be 5e adjacent, things like that. EM Publishing's Advanced Fifth Edition, things like that. And so many other systems that are built off of 5e that aren't necessarily Dungeons and Dragons can all continue and come out. So having that there is nothing but a good thing in my opinion. Roll for Combat says, I have that one. We should talk. I release everything in Foundry and work with them directly. Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you probably work with Andrew and with Matt a lot, then if you're working with them directly. But yeah, I do a bunch of stuff for Foundry, and Andrew and Matt know me well. They'll vouch for me. um, I was telling everybody in here earlier, AAW has their Roltmark Kickstarter coming out, and I'm doing the Foundry conversion for that. And I've been doing a lot more like CSS and stuff. And I know you're a programmer guy, so you probably know all that stuff. But I'm doing a lot more stylization. So my goal now is to make my Foundry conversions match the look and feel of the books, the physical books and the PDFs that they're being built out of. So color schemes and even the text and the headers, I try to match everything as closely as I can, and it looks really cool. Not all who are wondering are lost. Talking to Roll for Combat here, says, thanks for all your amazing coverage of the situation. Found you through it and been watching your streams. Yeah, it's funny. Roll for Combat, the first time I was watching your stream, I don't know how I found it. I just was looking for something to do and I found it. And it was the night that you got the leak for the OGL thing. Like, I happened to be watching that night and saw the leak happening, and I'm like, holy crap. Because I had been worried about the whole, like, I've been asking about the OGL thing. Ever since they did that thing where they kind of announced 1D&D and all this stuff and showed the virtual tabletop for the first time, I was like, what does this mean for content creation? Are we still going to have the OGL? Is there going to be an SRD? And, like, I'm pretty sure I tweeted those questions out and just never saw a response. I'm like, I don't like the fact that they're not saying anything. Like, the fact that they were being quiet worried me. And then when that all broke, I was like, I freaking knew it. I knew it. I was so pissed. I hate being right. Let's see here. Building says the CCSRD means we will see a lot more independent game systems coming out that just borrow from D&D. Exactly, yeah. I'm doing all the CSS right now, and they're doing the coding. It's a pain. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Roll for Combat. Great streams. Yeah, you guys have been awesome. I try to catch all your stuff, even if I have to catch it recorded. I was watching guys earlier today, too, so... Not all who wonder are lost. Wow, that's some timing, right? Yeah, it was great timing. It was fun to go to war with them. Almost sad they caved so quickly, but not really. It's crazy, right? Like I was saying earlier, I'm like, when it's like we went toe to toe with them and won. Oh, by the way, Roll for Combat. In honor of your stream, I posted lyrics on Twitter for Les Mis with some nerd lyrics, just for the first verse, but I posted it on Twitter. Error, this random person whom I do not know says, yo, I have a nickname now. Yeah, Junior DM Toolbox. Yeah, she's Junior DM Toolbox. Oh, did he? Oh man, I just kind of like I used the nerd line, but I just kind of wrote a quick little thing up on Twitter. Hold on, I'll show you mine. Maybe let's see if they're the same. Let me pull up Twitter. Mine. Where are they? Here we go. Hold on. So here are mine. Mine are, do you hear the gamers singing a song of angry nerds? It's the music of a community who will not be customers again. When the rolling of your dice echo the beating of the drums, there is a game about to start when tomorrow comes. So that was mine. I also posted... Where's my meme? I had a good meme today. Here we go. The battle for the OGL is over. The battle for 1 D&D has begun. What do you think they're going to do with one D&D as far as a SRD and OGL? Do you think they'll go full GSL, or do you think they'll mod it down a little bit and not be too crappy? It's stuff like that stream that gets me excited to play Pathfinder. Yeah, I'm so surprised that Wizards Cave surrendered. Yep, did not see it coming. What's the saying? A good deal leaves all parties slightly unsatisfied. I'm pretty satisfied. We'll see how 6E happens, but yeah. I just posted it on the RFC Discord if you want to see. Okay, what did you guys post? Let's see. Where's it at? Is it in announcements? Where is it? General. I'm looking for it here. You gotta tell me which channel it's in. That's what I've been looking forever. Will be gated and totally separate from 5e. 6e will be its own thing. But do you think it's gonna be like 4e? Like, are they gonna really make it so bad that nobody's going to want to use it? Because I feel like that would be such a mistake. All right, let's see. Do you hear the people sing the song of angry geeks? It's the music of the people who pour over all the leaks. I like it. That's a good one. When the beating of your heart echoes the rolling of the dice. Okay, we were similar in that one. There's a license that will start with the low stock price. Excellent. Will you join our campaign and fight for Open D&D? Beyond Hasbro's domain is the world you long to see. Then join in the fight. They will give you the right to be free. Do you hear? Yeah, this is great. Will you save all you could lose and let the OGL advance? Some will fall or be confused or prepare spells like in Jack Vance. The will of the fan base will have an effect on finance. Dude, that's great. You did that really well. I'm reacting. Well done. Well done. Probably not. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like here's my opinion, right? I was telling you guys earlier. What I'd like to see them do for a little more goodwill is give us SRD 5.2, also under Creative Commons and OGL 1.0a, that basically adds Artificier and maybe a couple of other updates. That would be nice. That would be really cool. For 6e, if they want to do this whole walled garden thing, I guess they can, but I just don't see them like winning. Like, how do they come out of that ahead? I mean, are they just relying on sheer numbers and microtransactions? Or because if they're like, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, yay, 6th edition, yay, this is cool. And then go, well, how come there's no Kickstarters? How come nobody's creating content? And then go, oh, well, then I'm just gonna go back to 5e. Like, I feel like it will. I don't see how they really come out good with that. Like, and now if they, my opinion is, they leave it. They say, okay, here's 6e. It's still under 1.0, and they don't have to do Creative Commons. But even if they say it's under 1.0, and they build a good product, people will come. Like, if they left that alone, put it under 1.0, and 6e was good, I would play it. And I don't know about their VTT because I'm a Foundry guy, but I like D&D Beyond, and if they open the API back up, I would maybe use D&D Beyond. Like, I'm worried about what are they going to do with the 5e D&D Beyond content when 6e comes out. Like, what happens then? Like, am I still going to create 5e characters on D&D Beyond? Like, that's the other question that I'm a little worried about. Or are they going to say, well, no, it's just, this is what 5e is now. There's only one D&D. So we're updating all the rules, and all now your characters are all 6e characters. So there's that. So a lot will depend on how the movie does. I expect them to be on their best behavior for the next month or two. I could tell you everything about 6e, but it will take away too much space to type out. 6e will be its own thing and a video game. I mean, you're not wrong there, right? I kind of want to see the movie now. Like, I was definitely going to boycott it. I might be more apt to see the movie now. But we'll see. 6e, yeah, I mean, 6e is not backwards compatible. It's just not. As soon as they redid classes to be like base classes, like the cleric and the wizard, so that everybody gets their subclass at their level, that broke backwards compatibility. Sure, I could probably plug a 5e adventure. I could probably go play, Dragon, Waterdeep or Dragon Heist in 6e easily enough, but I can't go grab one of my Kobold Press, player option books and use it in 6e. It's not compatible anymore. They broke it. So it's definitely not backwards compatible. My daughter says ketchup is a smoothie because tomato is a fruit. We've been over this before, Gabby. I will make you a ketchup smoothie anytime you want. You gotta drink the whole thing though. 6e will not be backwards compatible anymore. It just won't. It's going to be its own thing and nearly all online. So this was something else we were talking about earlier, because now that this fight's lost, they really don't have any motivation to make it backwards compatible, like you're saying. I never really felt like it was backwards compatible to begin with, but I also don't see like a lot of motivation to like get rid of a lot of the core mechanics that work, like advantage and disadvantage. Like I still think that you'll be able to play a 5e adventure in 1D&D or 6e, but the all online thing worries me. Like, are they not going to publish physical books? Because that's a huge turnoff for me. Like, if there's not physical books, I'm definitely out. I need books. I want physical books. So if there's not physical books, that's a hard no for me. There was always going to be a whole new 6e SRD. That was never a question. Notice that Wizard Coast actually read the survey, maybe because they got called out. Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe they always would, but they made a point to call out that they read it. I don't think they could have ignored that. Those overwhelming numbers. There's no way you can ignore that. They will publish books, but they will be more like collector's items. Yeah, I guess. It's 6e is sounding less and less good to me. The only book that I'm at all relatively interested in 6e would be the DMG. Wasn't that the original goal with 4e to make more like gamey, easily virtual, and didn't that turn out, Pathfinder? Yeah, I mean, they were kind of competing with MMOs at the time. Like, World of Warcraft was so big that I think they were looking for something that they were supposed to build, I think, their own VTT at the time. They wanted it to translate to the computer well. And maybe that wasn't something you could do very well in 2008. I don't know. But, yeah, it didn't turn out good for them. Yeah. And I'm still thinking, like, is Black Flag or something like that still going to come out of this on top? Honestly, like, I'm excited for Black Flag. I am really looking forward to the playtest next month. The strategy for the physical books will be as collector items only. That makes sense. Like I'm a book collector. Like, I love my books. I've got every Kobold Press book back there, including all the limited edition covers. Like, I'm a person who likes books. So, but if the game's not there, it's not like I don't own books for systems I don't play either. So, I was very close to Chris back in those 4E days. I was designed to work with video games and molded after WoW. Yeah. I knew people said this isn't true, but I was there. It was. Well, if you could say it's not true all you want. It seemed pretty obvious. I mean, and honestly, it seemed like a good idea. Like, World of Warcraft is this phenomenon. I mean, I wasn't playing D&D. I was playing World of Warcraft. So let's make D&D more like World of Warcraft. It makes sense, but it's just not what D&D players wanted. So, yeah. I bet the new DMG will be just as thin and around $75. I hope not. That would be bad. Stop bragging about all my LEs. Yeah, I got to brag a little bit. Yeah, but you have all the Battle Zoo books. That is the question. Yeah, no, I do not have all the Battle Zoo books. But if you just try hard to stop people drinking other colas, New Coke will work this time. Listen, Crystal Pepsi should still be around. I'm kidding. That stuff was horrible. Now Zima was good stuff. I was watching that 90s show and they had Zima and I was cracking up. Freaking Zima. Jolt Cola, man. I remember playing D&D in the 90s and drinking Jolt. That was a thing we did. That was definitely a thing we did. Good old Jolt Cola. Triple the caffeine. Gotta love it. Got to love it. Good times. Oh, man. So, yeah, I want to see how things shake out over the next couple months. I think I think Roll for Combat's right. I think after the movie is when maybe we'll see more. I'm wondering if they will play test the new OGL again for 6E. Like, I wonder if that's a thing. Do you think that's a thing they'll do? Do you think they'll be like, okay, here's 6E play test, and this is what the OGL will look like for it, or the GSL or whatever. I wonder if they'll look for feedback, because I feel like they'd be dumb not to at this point. Like, I think they know what we're going to say there. We're going to be like, this sucks. But I think there is a compromise to be had there for what they want to accomplish and what we want. I think as long as they don't try to take ownership of people's stuff, I think that would be a big start. And I don't think they should restrict VTTs. I think they should just make a good VTT. Yes, they need to earn back trust and need to get the community involved and change the storyline. Absolutely. I still don't think they should try to restrict other VTTs. I think they should say, yeah, other VTTs, come on and do your thing. We're doing ours. And my feeling is that people have been asking for D&D Beyond VTT for years. Since before Wizards owned it, people have been like, when are you going to do a VTT? When are you going to do a VTT? So the demand for it is there. I don't think they need to worry about the competition. I think there's so many people who just use it, organically, that they don't need to try to strangle out competition. All that's going to do is piss people off. So make a good VTT, make a good game, and you're set. They can do a fairly new OGL that's similar to 1.0a and says no NFTs and blockchain and Web3 and no hateful stuff, but a third party so and so will be the arbiter of that. And then I think that's enough. Let's see. Roll for Con says, well, they're spending hundreds of millions on their VTCs, so you'll see it. Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. I think the concept is cool. I think that they have enough people who use D&D Beyond, or at least did before 3 weeks ago, and enough demand for it that people will use it regardless. And they can do some microtransaction there and make their money, and I think they'll be just fine. I really don't think they need to worry about strangling out the competition. If I can play 5e for the rest of my life and pick up new material for it and be happy, Wizards of the Coast can go make whatever they want. Yeah, I mean, if they want to make that walled garden really, really restrictive, I think that that they're going to. I don't see 6e being successful. I think it's cool that Roll for Combat is here too. I'm a big fan, so I appreciate them being here. I have no love for WoTC. Ask Joe. Michael's been ranting about WoTC long before this OGL thing. Honestly, he's been ranting about it forever. So, this was just the almost justification for him. He's like, "See, I told you those rat bastards." I will say this though, guys. I've been saying, you all heard me saying it. I really feel like the guys at Wizards of the Coast, and I have at least one friend there, but I strongly believe that the majority of the people, the real people at WoTC, the content creators, all the way, the Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawfords and everybody down from there, all were fighting for today's outcome. I strongly believe that they care a lot about the game, and that they wanted a good outcome, and that they're happy about this. We could talk about the quality of the content coming out lately, being kind of meh. I also don't think that's totally on them. When you're in a big corporation, a lot of times there are people pushing for quick turnarounds and maximize profits, and that ties the hands of the creative people sometimes. I'm sure they would have liked to have seen better products than they got to put out. And for guys like Crawford and Perkins, they have this line to walk at their level where, yes, they're fans of the game and they're creative people, but they're also kind of a little bit higher up, and they have to toe that line. I don't envy their position sometimes, but I'm grateful for all the people inside Wizards of the Coast who fought for this, and leaked out information to guys like Roll for Combat and Linda and D&D Shorts, and got that information out, because that's what helped win the battle. They are lawful evil. I made an Intellect Devourer on D&D Beyond based on Cynthia Williams. Do you show Deep Magic? I forgot. I'm a bit tired. Did I show Deep Magic? You mean the Kickstarter? No, we didn't pull up the page at all. I want to do a one shot, an Underdark one shot with Illithid, with Mind Flayers, but I want them infected by a fungus like in The Last of Us. So I want to take, organism like fungus that take over and turn you into zombies, but Illithid fungus zombies. That's what I want to do. That would be a fun one shot. Can't write it and publish it, but I can run it. I do have the original Deep Magic limited edition, like the original 5e one. I have that limited edition. That's a good book. Yeah, but the guys at WoTC definitely did. That had to suck to be like in there, being an employee in there over the past couple of months, and looking at, like, watching all this happen, and like wanting to not wanting to do what the company was doing. And I don't know, man, that would just have to be so hard. And then just seeing the community just being so mad at your company, and you're like, it's not my fault. So I'm glad that, like, content creators, like myself, like Roll for Combat, kept trying to put out the message: don't harass the people. It's not their fault. This is executives doing what executives do. I talked to my brother about it, who is in a kind of an executive for a company, and he's like, that's executives doing executive things, and executives don't always do smart things. Kaywood Publishing's here. Look at Monsters of the Wilderness. Spores infecting the underworld would work with your idea. Okay, I'll take a look. I have Monsters of the Wilderness right behind me. So Kaywood, we were talking earlier and saying, will publishers now go back to publishing 5e? Now, you were preparing your next book, and you were talking about going system neutral on it. What's your feelings now? Are you going to stick with 5e, or do you want to continue to publish system neutral? Do you want to have both in your book? Like, what are your thoughts as a publisher publishing monster books moving forward? Or Monsters of the Underworld? Okay. The Last of Us, man. That show is so good. When do new episodes drop? I'm still on episode 2. I want a new episode so bad. Late night Friday. So tonight? Okay. I know what I'm doing after the stream. You called Jeremy Crawford, left a polite message. You were unhappy. The executives are all promoted to the level of incompetence. Yep. I wonder if anybody I do kind of wonder if anybody lost their jobs at Hasbro or WoTC over this. I have to wonder. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we'll find out in the coming weeks. If anybody resigned. But yeah, I'm kind of curious. If there's any other people who know and want to talk about it on their streams, they should. Looking at somebody. So yeah, it was a good time. It was a good day. Overall, it was a good day. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. I have to go block Chat GPT from my daughter's computer now, though. I gotta remember to do that after the stream. She's like, wait, I could do that? Too funny. All right, guys. It's 10 o'clock at night here. I'm going to go log off and go hang out with my wife, who's going to go, oh, you were on there forever. She's going to yell at me. But she loves me, so it's all good. I wonder if it is a feat become an executive and gain incompetence as a bonus. So, anyways, guys, the one thing I will say before we go is I will look into memberships this weekend and figure out what we want to offer. I really like the idea of doing some content creation streams and selecting some random viewers or some random members to run a one-shot for. And then don't forget, with my 2,000 subscriber mark, we're going to be doing a big giveaway with multiple publishers. So, yeah, I'm still working on acquiring some products to give away, but we'll do a giveaway. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you know all that fun stuff. Like and subscribe. Make sure you do the bell icon notifications. And hopefully in the next week or two, I will make an official announcement on the giveaway. But you heard it here first. And don't forget, check out episode 2 of that Midgard show is now out. It is on YouTube and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. So that's it for now, guys. And yeah, have a good night. And yes, we didn't talk about Hasbro's layoffs, but I don't know all the details about it, so I didn't want to bring it up. So maybe next stream we can talk more about that. All right. And yes, K-Wood, I'll hit you up. All right. All right, guys. That's it for now. Good night. And Roll for Combat, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you coming on, man. We'll talk to you all later.